This week it's some low-key incest as we discuss the 2015 horror fantasy Crimson Peak. Hello and welcome to the Bloody Bits Horror Show. I am your host, Eddie, the Axe Jefferson, and joining me as always, the guy trying to blow out the candle in the dance scene, it's Tim Yobo. How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm doing very good, but I'm disappointed because now I have to scratch out my fucking low-key incest joke. Son of a bitch, it beat me to it. Finally, you got
you, motherfucker. But Tim, that's okay, because we are not alone on this journey. As always, we're joined by the co-host who was re-traumatized by a scene where the protagonist's writing is called shit. It's Candice.
Yes, I was like, what the fuck? I forgot about this. I was like, how?
See, Candice, you had the last laugh.
Yeah, I spit on your grave. It came right back to you, didn't it? It really did.
It did.
So here we are in the middle of Swap-tober, and we are joined this week by longtime friend of the show, Charles. How are you doing today, good sir?
Good. I was going to say horror fantasy. Fantasy is right with this movie. Oh my god,
baby!
I was
Glad
so
we're on
mad.
the same page.
You know, I'm not one toe was fucked, not one titty was sucked, and then at the end of the movie, I went, "Well, goddamn, they got me good."
It's incredible because it turns out that this time, instead of being stuck in a dryer, they're just stuck in an old mansion.
Oh yeah,
They're stuck in an attic.
Let me tell you, parents, don't put your fucking kids in an attic for extended periods of time. Okay?
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
That's right. This is an official Whitefire certified episode.
White fire. It's now that song's gonna be stuck in my fucking head all week. I just know it is.
Brought to us this week, the selection Crimson Peak by our last week's host, Faustus. He didn't give me a lot of information on why he selected it, but I also didn't push too hard. He just said he really likes the movie and thinks it'd be very fun to hear it being covered by us. So thank you, Faustus.
Well, I wanted to add that we did talk about this movie when we did not Lucy and the Devil,
okay.
Lisa and the Devil, because we were talking about modern Gothic, and I said Mexican Gothic, and he said Crimson Peak.
So it was fresh in his head there.
So it was on his mind.
You planted a seed in Faustus's brain.
So before we begin, though, Charles, we covered your selection last week, and not all of us that are on the podcast were such big fans of the movie.
I think that means all of us that were on the podcast.
You know, I'm only about 3/4 of the way through it. I actually had a very busy week this week, so I wasn't able to listen to it all in its entirety at work.
I thought you were going to say, motherfucker, you're 3/4 through the original movie and you didn't even watch it. You just said, tell us about it.
To be fair, Tim, I got really busy at work. About 2 minutes into the movie, I think, is when you started to complain. I said, "Oh, I'm busy. Got to shut it off now. Don't care."
And I was holding my time in too. I can't believe I made it to 2 minutes.
But I'm only about I'm at the part where they've driven by the church, and that's about as far as I got. And then I was like, I'll get back to it. And most of the week went by. It was just really busy. But give me the long and the short of it.
Oh yeah, Tim did not like it, and he has no idea why that movie is considered a cult classic.
How is that a classic? For real?
I do like when Candice said, Tim, your zombie preferences are pretty mainstream, okay?
Yeah,
right.
That's okay. What's wrong with that? I also like vanilla ice cream.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine,
I never
but it's
saw
also
that
true.
movie before I saw it and recommended it to Eddie. The local theater in town is one Thursday a night for like the last couple months, they've been doing a zombie movie, and it's an independent thing where they just rent out a theater and they get the rights and they play a zombie movie. I've said, hey, I've never seen this movie. I'm going to go see it. And I just thought it was absolutely wild.
People paid money and went out and took a chance of getting COVID to see this movie.
I mean, Tim, I think you're the only one who's afraid of COVID at this point. But
I got my booster shot.
It was fine. Nobody got COVID. Nobody caught, herpes, though I tried to give it. What are you going to do? But, exactly.
No one was
taking. I was in charge. It was free. It was a service, But it was absolutely very fun. Right after I got out of the theater, I texted Eddie. I'm like, you need to fucking have this movie. This movie is fucking wild.
And Eddie got their text message wrong because he picked a different movie than what you were just talking about, right?
Oh, no, sir. Oh, no, sir.
Come on. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't know.
It was in a zombie movie, though. Those aren't my zombies. I'm sorry. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't say that about anything else, really. I'm not not my Iron Man, not my Captain America, not my Mario, but
not my zombies.
Why, Tim? Because they're not white? They're Hispanic zombies. How dare you, sir?
There's Zomberos.
Okay, let me clarify something. They're not Hispanic. They're from Spain. That's not Hispanic. That's European.
Anyway.
They're white.
Okay,
coming up like Kanye West.
Way to splain things to poor Charles here.
I know.
Jesus.
Charles, seriously, you really think that people from Spain are Hispanic?
If they're not from America, I don't care. What are you going to do?
That's right,
buddy. We all can't eat dinner at 11 o'clock at night, okay?
That's fair. That's very fair. So before we begin,
there's some people in this country who think that there's a lot of Spaniards running over the Mexican border trying to get into our country.
It's going to be
they're fucking stupid.
What did he say when you were playing Xbox with him earlier?
Yeah. What did your buddy say when he was confused about that, too?
No, he's not that bad, but I'm sure there's some people who are like that.
So before we begin this week, I think we should start with our favorite little podcast segment. What have you been consuming, Candice?
All right, maybe because I knew this movie was coming up, I was in a historical type of mood, and I wanted to go back to a show that I always meant to watch and never got around to it. I'm talking about The Terror,
Terror,
which is based on the book by Dan Simmons. I've only got like 3 episodes left, and it's been fucking incredible.
Okay.
In case anybody doesn't know what it is, it's the story of... Yeah, it's about the HMS Terror and the HMS Erebus, and they're trying to find the Northwest Passage, and they were never seen again. So Dan Simmons wrote a what-if scenario book about what happened to the people on the ship. And of course he puts like a supernatural sort of twinge to it, but really the biggest horror of it is just the fucking living conditions. Even without the supernatural element, I love movies like that and shows like that. Where it's not... Yeah, it was on AMC. Where it's like, it's not the fucking incredible cast, too.
Hold on, is it just
Syrian
me? I'm getting
Hines,
like a
it's got
weird,
Jared
like,
Harris.
electric hum in my headphones.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just me, because my headset's been kind of weird.
Hold on, let me mute. Is it me? Hold on.
I heard it when it first got in, but it went away.
Yeah.
I can still hear it. Let me mute me.
Okay, I'm going to mute mine now. Oh, wait, no, it's gone. And I didn't mute.
Oh, it was
That's
Charlie.
Interesting.
It's Charlie.
Because it's not taking my mic. This program isn't working with my mic.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting like a fucking Russian code from 1950 or something like that.
The Russian number station.
Let me see something here.
You know what? Just real quick, because I'm sure we're not recording this out. I watched an episode of The X-Files, which I never watched before, one with Burt Reynolds in it. I guess it was the last season of The X-Files, because was the Terminator 2 cop, and not even Mimi Rogers anymore, some other chick. Holy shit, what the fuck happened to that show?
Oh, that's like the fifth or
the
sixth
last
season.
before it goes
Yeah,
off
when
the
they
air.
got rid of when they didn't have Mulder and
Scully's in this
Scully.
one,
Yeah,
but for maybe 15 minutes all together at most, and she's not Scully.
yeah, I remember that season. Yeah, that's when it went downhill real fast. I think it's one of those cases of they were trying to make, because it was so popular, they were trying to drag the show on for
Fox
too long when the story had already been told. Yeah, this was a classic case of you should have let it die. It lived long enough to become the villain.
Because I remember there was that one of my favorite episodes of the X-Files is the one Home with the fucking inbred family.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
just
a
flipping
classic.
around the X-Files thing, and I see Burt Reynolds' fucking face. I'm like, what? And I was
yeah, I remember watching that Home one when it was live, like when they first aired it. I remember watching that and being like, what the fuck? It's like Wrong Turn.
Hills
Have
Eyes.
Those types of movies. Yes, it's very definitely the Hicksploitation, but in X-Files. I mean, are we just gonna keep talking?
I think
Dead
Charlie
air is
is...
not good, right?
You can. Sorry, just I figured out the source of the humming, and I'm trying to take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it your
Are
vibrator?
you playing chess right now? Are
Yeah.
you cheating at chess?
I put the batteries in backwards, Candice, and you're not really supposed to do that. That's how broke I am. My vibrator
No,
still
it's
uses
worse if you put
batteries.
the vibrator in your
Rookie
ass
move.
backwards.
My prostate pushes the buttons.
Yeah, you don't have a USB rechargeable one? Wow, how old is it? Was it your mom's?
I don't know. It was in a
or something?
box at Goodwill. What are you gonna do?
Came from one of your estate sales.
I didn't even ask for it. I was just like, I'm just going to take this. I'm not even
Do
going to
you
take it to
think
the
that there's
register.
ever been an
I'm just
estate
gonna
sale
do-
where they've had sex toys?
Oh, yeah. I actually went to an estate
Yes.
sale one time, and it was in a very cool, like, mid-century modern house. And there was, like, you know, when you go into an estate sale and there's, like, a room, it'll say, like, you know, oh, this is off limits. You can't go in here or whatever. There was
And
one that
probably
said
doesn't
adults.
pay attention to that sign.
Well, it said adults only, and I was like, well, fuck, I'm an adult. I'm going to go up in here. And it was just like, it was the bathroom, but it was full of gay porn and like books and movies and all sorts of shit. And I was like, interesting. Cool.
Porn is different than toys, though.
Nah,
You're like,
there
hey,
was a
you
lot
sell
of
in
stuff
bulk?
there. I was like, yeah, you cut me a deal by buy all this?
Can I get this
Like,
by
what's
the
going on?
pound?
Oh, shoot.
No, they was
Somebody's-
by the
Beefcake.
pound, all right.
One
Beefcake
second,
magazine by the pound.
Hang on, Eddie's talking.
Oh.
Hang on.
yeah,
Eddie's
someone's
trying
at
to
the
tell
door.
us
Just
something.
one
What?
second.
Well, it was on,
How
it was
did
on
you drink
recording.
a bottle of it without passing out, Charlie?
So dying.
Ancient Chinese secret, Tim.
All right, we're good. We're the delivery guy. We're good. Okay.
Ooh, what'd you get delivered? Chinese food?
No, just Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing fun.
See, now it's all.
It's always
it's all
nice to get
gone.
an Amazon package, even though it's an evil company, but still.
Yeah.
I got Count
Oh
Chocula
yeah, I
on
got
the
Fruit
way.
Brute in the kitchen, bitch.
Yep, me too.
Damn.
So,
Fucking
Count Chocula is
cereal,
the best
taking it
one.
to a whole new level.
Fruit Brute rules. Okay, so you've been consuming a bunch of
Frosted
bullcrap,
Flakes.
Candice. Thanks for
Yeah,
telling us that.
Uh-huh.
What about
Yep,
you, Tim? What have you
anytime.
been consuming this week? my friend?
Well, I think last week I said that I finished the entire rewatch of Breaking Bad, so I started on Let's Call Saul.
Let's Call Saul. The
Better Call
spin-off.
Saul.
Not Better Call Saul.
It's
The
on
lesser known
KMC.
spinoff, KMC.
And you can't afford Better Call Saul.
It's got David Cross in it.
Yeah. Oh God. Imagine how bad that would be. Is this your first watch through of Better Call Saul, Tim?
When it was first on, I watched the first 2 episodes, and I really couldn't get into it that much.
Mhm.
And then I was like, fuck it. I'll wait for it to like build up a little bit, and then I'll binge it the
Yeah.
first season. And I never got around to it. And then when I know this was the last year of it, and it was getting a lot of hype, so I was like, all right, now I can't watch. I have to wait for it to finish all the way so I can watch it
Right,
in one sitting.
right.
Well, not one
Mhm.
sitting, but I just
One
finished
sitting.
the first season, and while I will not say it is better than Breaking Bad, I am enjoying it very, very much, and I think it's a lot easier to get into on a first season than it is to get into Breaking Bad on a first season.
Okay.
But I also think that it doesn't hurt that I know this character from almost 4 seasons
Yeah,
of Breaking Bad.
yeah.
So
You know a lot
and
of the
a lot of
characters
the other things
involved.
that are going
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
No, that's true. That's
but it's
true.
really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I just finished season 1.
Okay. No, that's a good, solid show, man. It builds up, man. I think eventually it becomes better than Breaking Bad, but
Well,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
at the first season, like I said, if Breaking Bad and this was on at the same time, and I watched the first season of both shows at the same time, I
Yeah.
would probably ended up sticking with Better Call Saul than I would have with Breaking Bad.
Gotcha. So what about you, my friend Charles? What have you been consuming?
Not a whole hell of a lot. I'm back in school. I'm pushing to try to do a transfer to a state school, and so I'm just trying to smash as many classes as I can. And I'm studying for a midterm, so that's pretty much what I've been consuming for the last, I'd say, probably the last week.
You've been consuming
that's a smart
education.
thing. Do get your prerequisites done at community college, then transfer to a
so that's what I got to do, because when I was in college years ago, it was just a lot of shit happened, and it was like, well, I'll take a class here, I'll take a class there, and this and that, and I look back and I was like, wow, you've only done 12 credits. How the fuck is that possible? And so now I'm
so like what, four classes
pretty
depending
much
on the class. Sometimes with three, sometimes with four.
What was smart is I knocked out all of my major credits, so now it's going back to doing basically all the core stuff, and so that's what I'm doing now. And I've got I think I've got 6 more classes to basically take in spring and summer, and then I can transfer. And so it's just like, it's grind. Just get it all out of the way, get it done.
Are you like really good at a sport? Yep. Maybe you can get a scholarship somewhere.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I can get back into doing football and compete with kids half my age at this point. No, Tim, I don't play sports.
Yeah, they got to throw like foosball in there or something.
Yeah, right.
You know
Come
what I
on,
mean?
do one of those fucking Lori Loughlin things. Take up like fucking rowing, but just like fake the pictures or some shit like that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say be a rich white woman in L.A. I was gonna say I could do that. I could do that
and pay somebody to get in for you, and then take their place.
Oh man!
Which I heard, by the way, on the internet. So who knows if it's true? That's the thing that people are doing with job interviews now, because a lot of the job interviews are over the internet. And they're like, or they're sending somebody in, they're nailing the interview, and then the other person just shows up for work.
No one's going to notice. Usually you meet the person you interview with. If you're working at a big
enough company, do you?
I did.
I mean, that's kind of like, remember that song Return of the Mac by Mac Morrison from like 1996? If you hear it on the radio, you'll recognize it. He did some jail time back in like 2004, but he didn't do the jail time. He hired somebody to go do jail for him and then do community service. And then they figured out it wasn't him because like he was doing community service and he couldn't sing. And that's how they figured out it was him. And so he had to do more jail time.
Oh, it sucks he got caught. What a great scam.
Yeah.
That's like the dude, there was a dude that worked at Verizon that was a programmer that ended up outsourcing his own work. He just got some dude in India to do all of his programming for him.
Pennies on the dollar, right?
Yeah. And he just sat at home and fucking didn't do shit and got paid. So then eventually they found out about it and they got real butthurt. And he's like, what? You guys do it all the time.
Yeah,
why can't I do it? That's what I'm saying. He's a fucking problem solver, man.
Oh shit, newsflash, shit just got real in here. My husband just brought in a giant mixed drink that's quite strong.
He's playing his cards right tonight. He knows how to press all your buttons.
Yeah.
He's like,
I watched a movie with Tom Hiddleston.
She's going to be talking about Gothic. Let me get her that drink now.
Oh, yeah.
Get them juices.
All those fucking
flowing,
hard to take off puffy clothes.
Oh, God. The fucking clothes. So I watched this fucking movie, Choose or Die. What a piece of shit, man. It's a Netflix movie.
Isn't that one of those like? Oh, okay. Isn't that one of those like teen slashers where it's about an app?
Sort of. I mean, it's about this person finds this old horror game from the 1980s, and they get it working on their computer, and the game is like haunted and it kills people. Boo!
And the game is Choose or Die, right? It's like a truth or dare.
No. The game is, well, sort of. I mean, the game is like, so the opening scene of it, it's so fucking stupid, is that this broad goes to a diner, and to prove that it's real, it's all like coffee or cake. The game is, and she's like, "What?" And she looks at the menu.
Wait a second. Yeah, I saw something like this. Yeah.
She looks at the menu. All that's on the menu is coffee and cake. And she's like, "Oh man!" And the waitress is,
"Oh," and they go, "Wait a second! The computer's printing out stuff before we even." And then the computer prints out, say it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Tim, did you see this? Yeah. This movie's a piece of. This came out this year. You watched this, Tim?
I don't think I watched it. I must have seen the trailer, or I saw other people talking about how shitty it is.
It was fucking terrible, man. Fucking horrible movie. There's a scene where the guy, her fucking incel friend that's trying to fuck her is all like, hey, wait a minute. Back in the day, people used to hack with phones because they'd like use sound to hack, right?
Mm-hmm. Those Captain Crunch whistles.
Yeah, that's how you get a free phone call. Yeah.
Freaking, right? Because the whole thing is they're trying to win this $100,000 prize from this game from the 80s that still exists for some reason. Because they call the phone number the helpline or whatever, and Robert Englund, by the way, is the voice on the answering machine.
Well, look, he got paid,
like
so that's
like nine.
That's at least a high point, right?
Like 976
I've never heard of
Evil.
him doing a shitty movie for a paycheck.
Well, my first thing that pops in my head is, how do I know that this fucking bullshit show from the 80s still has that $100,000 in a fucking trust fund somewhere to pay me off?
But
or is it like $180 million now with incurred interest?
That's true, yeah. So the incel friend is all like, so what I did was I hacked their phone number and found out, and we're tracing it to figure out where they're at. Meanwhile, they've got the phone number. Just look the phone number up of the company. Like, what the fuck? You don't have to hack it. It's so fucking stupid. It's the dumbest fucking movie.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you and step on you, but you finished. I want to also add Beast to the list of horrible ass fucking movies that I watched. The one with Idris Elba where he's with his family.
Oh, yeah, with the killer lion.
Oh, my fucking God. There's a scene where he's underneath the flipped safari truck, right? So it's got like that kind of like those bars on it, so it's not completely on the ground. And this fucking lion can't get him while he's underneath the car. It's just, it is so badly done and made. Just simple things like eye line sight of where they're looking to where things are supposed to be on the screen.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just
that's
really,
bad.
really bad. And he's a great fucking actor.
Is it one of those movies that was maybe done during COVID where they were still trying to crank movies out, but it was obvious like they weren't in the same room or they weren't, it was like maybe they were definitely further apart. And then, because there's some movies that have come out where it's like they're obviously not on location somewhere. They're obviously, trying not to be close to each other.
It was the eye line sight with everything, not just the people in the, because it's basically him and the kids in the car with, I think, one other person's around the movie for a little bit. And the lions. Yeah,
the dude from District 9.
But holy shit, I couldn't believe how fucking bad it was.
Wow. I watched the trailer and I was like,
that's why I watched it. I watched the trailer. I'm like, I love that fucking guy. He's from The Wire. The Dark Tower sucked, but I thought he was a very good Roland.
That is Heimdall. Thank you very much. That is what he will be known for.
What geeky shit is that?
That's Thor. He's Heimdall from Thor.
Oh, that's right. Oh, he's the one with the kid with the fucking the kid's got those freaky ass eyes. Yeah,
that's
Tim,
his
it's
son,
not geeky shit, it's Thor.
Yeah.
Hold your tongue. So
tell you one thing, my hand is Thor.
Oh boy.
Jesus Christ.
No. Done with that, Candice. So, Candice, speaking of you masturbating, you said before we start this you wanted to talk about making mac and cheese. Gross, Tim. You said you had a little soliloquy you wanted to present to us about gothic horror.
Yes, I'm going to try to do Faustus proud. I don't have the same gravitas in my voice that he does, but I think he would appreciate this. Because I'm pretty sure that's why he picked it out.
Can I put circus music under this?
Eddie, can you fix her voice in post so she kind of sounds a little bit deeper?
I could.
No, get him to say it, and then just put it over when I'm talking.
You gotta adjust your throat. Go,
Yeah.
All right, the Gothic novel that this clearly, takes all of its notes from. This is something that most people don't know about the Gothic novel, is that they're the whole reason that novels became a popular form of entertainment. The modern novel as we know it today would not exist if not for Gothic fiction from the 19th century and 18th century. So it started with The Castle of Otranto from Horace Walpole. And the real star of it all was Anne Radcliffe. And she made The Mysteries of Udolpho and a shit ton of other ones. And this is something that, like I said, most people don't know. That, Stephen King wouldn't exist if not for these shitty Gothic horror novels from, hundreds of years ago.
It's the thing that got everybody to start buying books. Yeah, so.
Yes, exactly. Because at the time, the most popular form of literature was poetry or scientific treatises. Like, these are the things that people read for fun. Novels were considered like the lowest of the low.
That Twilight would not fucking exist if this shit had never been written 200 and 300 years ago.
It's true.
People want to go back in time and kill Hitler. I know who I'm killing.
I was going to say, Charles, we need a time
machine.
Kill
Horace Walpole
no, I'm going to go back and kill Stephanie Meyer. 20 years is 20 years.
What I'm surprised about, it seems like, especially back then, this is like the only thing that women could do. Right?
Yeah. Well, they were, like I said, the Gothic novels were...
but like, this is like the only thing that women could do outside of the house and like be like, oh, it doesn't matter that it's a woman who wrote the book.
Yeah, and oftentimes they would write under a pen name or they would be anonymous, so you wouldn't know it was a woman.
True, yeah.
Like they would have a male pen name.
They allude to that in this movie, too.
Jane Austen, she wrote anonymously for a long time before someone finally found out who she was that was writing all of these incredibly popular books that everybody loved. And she actually wrote her own Gothic novel that was a parody of Gothic novels because she hated them. She thought they were the dregs of literature and no one should read them.
So she's the Martin Scorsese of a time.
Yeah. You're not allowed to read Gothic novels on your iPhone. Go to a fucking movie theater. But yeah, and then also they made a resurgence in the 60s thanks to a little show called Dark Shadows. They were hugely popular after that because people, the housewives were like, ooh, I like this. And some Gothic novel tropes that I think you're going to see are familiar. It's always set in a haunted castle or house. There's always a damsel in distress. There's always an atmosphere of mystery and suspense. There's always a ghost or a monster. The weather is always awful. There's always dreaming and or nightmares. There's dream sequences. The male protagonists always have some kind of really dark secret or something horrible in their past that they're trying to get over. There's always romance and melodrama. And that was it.
Okay. So you just described every Santo movie I've ever seen.
Hey, I've never seen one, but I'm guessing they're Gothic.
You're going to love them.
Yeah, Candice, time for you to get started.
You see, when I watched this movie for the first time, obviously I was going to watch it anyway because it's Guillermo del Toro. But when I watched it, I was like, this is the most perfect modern adaptation of the Gothic tropes. He clearly knew what the fuck he was doing, had done tons of research. And yeah, it's always dominated by women. Although, personally, my favorite Gothic novel is Matthew Lewis's The Monk. Whew, you want to talk about incest and rape. It is in that book, and this is a book that was written in the 1790s.
And that's your favorite.
Wait, what were they getting stuck in the 1790s?
They'd stick their wives in attics.
Wait, that's where
and then they get married again.
Stuck in attics. Now most people don't have an attic, but I got a dryer.
It started from the stockades, Tim. They'd put them in the stock in the middle of the town.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
That's the
you
original.
Can hang your laundry on them to dry.
Somebody needs to write a sexy stockade book.
Tim?
I'm pretty sure that's just any S&M erotica.
I was going to say, Tim, that's on you, buddy. Get to writing.
Anyway, I hope I did Faustus proud, and I hope if he listens, he's like, yep, that's what I would have said.
Nice little background.
Yeah, thank you. So speaking of backgrounds, Charles, what's your background with Crimson Peak?
Absolutely no background whatsoever, and I liked that I had no background with it because, as we'll get into it, it was a really good experience.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so this was the first time.
I always get Del Toro confused with what's his name? Not Benicio del Toro. That's when I was on Wikipedia reading about this movie. I was like, Benicio wrote this? What? No,
he did Werewolf.
I get him confused with Terry Gilliam all the time. Last time I saw a Terry Gilliam film that was not Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it was Tideland, and I shut that off after 10 minutes because it was a piece of shit. And at first I thought, oh man, it's the guy who did Tideland. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it's somebody else. Okay, we're good.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's my take. Judging from the silence here, Candice and Tim love Tideland, so
I guess so. Yeah,
I've never seen it. I can already tell you from.
You said
I don't know if I've ever seen a Terry Gilliam.
I honestly, I was just looking up Tideland.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, then I have seen one. Okay.
He literally opens the movie on the DVD with saying, if you don't get this movie Tideland, then this is not the movie for you. And I was like, you're making excuses for a shitty movie. Okay, great.
Oh, yeah. You just don't get it if you don't think it's
remember
good.
This Tideland bullshit.
Maybe you should rewatch it, and then you should rewatch it again and do some research, and maybe then you'd finally get it. Get out of your comfort zone.
You didn't watch it right.
That's what the director of the Manchester Morgue did before the opening of his movie in the theaters.
Yeah.
If you don't like this and don't think it's a classic, you just don't get it.
You should go watch a mainstream zombie movie, man.
Yeah, you should go watch.
Go watch Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, watch some World War Z, fucker. All right, what about you, Tim? What's your history with Crimson Peak?
The only history I have with this is absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah,
never saw it. I remember vaguely hearing a little bit about it when it came out because of the cast. Because it's got a gigantic fucking cast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's about it, and not really a big gothic horror fan. So
okay, well, hopefully this movie changed that for you, Tim.
It did. I'll say that right now. I like this movie. I was really surprised how much I liked it. I'll say that I don't think it needed something that's in the movie, but
I was surprised you didn't complain there weren't more tits.
I mean, look, I know Jessica Chastain's not showing a fucking tits.
Wow.
That's like 0 to 30 like 7 times just to make sure.
Oh, God, Tim. We got to get you a Playboy or something, buddy. What about you, Candice? What's your history with this one?
Of course, I've seen it a few times before now. Look, this is one of my, not the best Guillermo del Toro movie, but, I cannot say that. But it's definitely one of the top 3. Probably the 3rd best, if I had to rank them. I fucking love this movie. And not only first time I watched it, I was like, this is one of the sexiest movies I've ever seen in my life.
Wow, really?
You've not seen Caligula.
Shit, Candice. What are the other 2 movies?
Well, it's that Victorian restraint that makes it so sexy, because it's all prim and proper, but that just underneath the surface there's a fucking lava eruption getting to happen when it finally lets loose, and it's going to be 10 times hotter than a person who just has sex with everybody they meet every 5 seconds.
I was just thinking, with all those dresses, they could have a bunch of little people underneath them eating them out all day. Nobody would know.
It's all about the build-up. It's all about the game, the anticipation. 10 times more fun. Yeah. I'm sure they had no problems. People like to pretend like the Victorians were so prim and proper. They like to fuck the same as everyone.
We're all fucking here. Yeah, exactly. So I'm with you, Tim. I have no history with this fucking movie.
So I'm the only person here who'd seen it before? Yeah, of course.
This is a total Candice movie.
I was surprised when I heard the pick from Eddie. I was like, wow, we're watching that fucking submarine movie? That's crazy.
Crimson Tide?
Now that I have seen. So
tell you one thing, my Crimson peaked all right.
Thank you, Candice.
You know what? Look, we gotta let her have it. I
know. All right, so let's get into the cast here. Of course, like you said, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, co-written by Matthew Robbins. Matthew Robbins, weird writing history. Did the Mimic movies? Did Batteries Not Included? Mimic and Mimic 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also did some story credit on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's really about it, though, until we got up to this one. But Guillermo del Toro is the big name behind it, of course. And if you haven't heard of Guillermo del Toro, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and just FYI, I would rank his best movies as Pan's Labyrinth, number 1, The Devil's Backbone, number 2, and Crimson Peak is number 3. And then I'd probably put Pacific Rim underneath that.
No Hellboy movies in there for you.
Hellboy 2 is very good. Hellboy 1's okay. Yeah. Hellboy 2, though, is the best.
What about The Shape of Water, Candice?
Yeah, come on.
I've actually never seen
Candice! Oh, my God! You'll be able to fill that water tank up halfway through the movie yourself.
Jesus.
That was good, Tim. That was really good.
You have to rush out and watch that now. It's all about fucking.
I know everything about it. Everybody, I've heard so many people talk about it. I feel like I've already seen the fucking movie note for note because people talk about
That's
it.
what my grandmother and my aunt said about Deep Throat, but when they saw it, it was a whole different experience. Right?
I've lived this.
Oh. So then we got starring Mia Wasikowski. That's a hell of a name. As Edith Cushing. Homage to Peter Cushing, of course. And I looked up her credits. She was in apparently the Alice in Wonderland in 2010.
Yes, she was. That's the first movie I ever watched her in. Was that? I was like, oh, it's Alice.
Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen those.
She's very much a Tim Burton, waifish, big-eyed, innocent-looking person. Like he loves those like really pale chicks with really big brown eyes. Like he loves that look.
Yeah.
All of his female
I kept thinking she looked familiar, but I don't think I've seen anything that she's been.
Stoker.
There you go. Okay.
She's in Stoker. Right. Yep. Also, I've seen her naked because I've seen Stoker.
There you go. I should have put Stoker on my phone while I was watching this movie.
Also, a movie that's very sexy with incest.
Hey, there you go. We need to just have the incest list of fucking movies. I think that's the grind.
The gross ones and then the sexy ones.
But Tim, you might want to check her out in the movie Rogue from 2007. Yeah.
Was that the Killer Croc movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, that's right. She's the daughter on the tour, the tour ferry bus.
Is that the one with the chick from Pitch Black?
Yes.
I was just watching that last week or so.
Yeah.
With, I just watched it like a month ago.
Fucking idiot from Avatar, right? Sam Worthington? Yes.
Yep. Yes. That's the one, Tim.
Yes.
That's right, because I was watching it and I was like, oh shit, it's the chick from Stoker.
Yeah, it's also got Patch the Wonder Dog as Kevin.
Wow, so I guess I have something wrong with my memory, because I was like, I'm watching this movie, I don't think I've seen her in anything, and I've seen her in two things recently.
Yeah. Then, Tim, as you mentioned, Jessica Chastain.
Ooh, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
Lucille.
She's kind of like a weird beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful because she's not your very stereotypical plastic Barbie kind of beauty. She has a very distinct face with that like dimple in her chin, and like her nose isn't like perfectly straight or anything, so it gives her this like distinctiveness to it that I think sets her way above and beyond any fucking Kardashian any day of the week.
Come on, I'm looking at a can of crushed tomatoes right now that I'd rather fuck than a Kardashian.
Jesus, Tim.
I mean, literally, I'm looking at a can of crushed tomatoes.
And you're thinking,
probably more real too.
Thinking about fucking her.
More organic.
And like you mentioned, she was in Zero Dark 30, Molly's Game.
She's in Mama.
Yep.
And she was in It Chapter 2. She played Beverly Marsh.
She's so good.
She's
in
a Marvel movie too, right?
Yeah, she was in Dark Phoenix, the best Marvel movie.
Oh shit, that's right. That's not even a one. No, that's
a Fox
Marvel.
That's
the one with the girl from Game of Thrones
X-Men.
playing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Marvel, come on.
I mean, it's not Disney Marvel. It's not the good Marvel.
Okay, it's not Disney, not the good one. Yeah.
She-Hulk. Have you seen the new episode yet, Candice?
I haven't seen the new one yet. I mean, like, is that a good? That's a good thing, right? Is that a good old boy?
So don't worry.
I thought the last episode was didn't really grab it until the very end, until the twist at the end, and then I was like, oh shit!
It was all built up for that twist. I'm sorry, Eddie. Go ahead. We're finished nerding out about She-Hulk.
No, you're gonna keep nerding out because the next credit I have is Candice's favorite. You can say it.
Tom Hiddleston. Whew. Oh my god. You want to talk, like, he is my type. You know, I said it's always like pale guys with dark hair and they're slim. Don't have to be tall, but that's a plus, you know? Like Tom Hiddleston, and his voice is literal sex. Good God.
Damn.
He is, I remember the first time I saw Tom Hiddleston was, of course, as Loki in Avengers, the first one. And I remember watching it and being like, he's the hottest guy in this movie. Like, I think you're supposed to think that, like, Thor or Captain America is the hottest, but Loki is the hottest guy in this movie.
Like
and I always like the bad guy, yeah. Oh, man, Tom Hiddleston. I just would watch, and I will watch anything he's in. And he also does audiobooks. And yeah,
Jesus.
His voice. Oh.
We got to keep you away from
some of the audiobooks.
Candice.
I don't have any of the audiobooks.
It's all
does
gothic erotica.
Oh man, could you imagine?
No.
As I slowly run my lips along your thigh.
Candice.
They ever got the car in the first person?
We need to restrain.
I mean,
Candice is envisioning it in the fucking first person. This is what's going on in her head while she's listening to the audiobook.
Oh man, just get you. It's only going to get worse. As we get into the actual movie itself.
Prepare for soupy shorts, friends.
This is her life force, so we can't.
I know. It's only fair. And then we've got old Charlie Hunnam as Dr. Alan Mcmichael. Now, this guy...
Yeah, he's a guy.
He's a guy. He's a good guy. You guys might remember him from Sons of Anarchy, if you watched it.
Yeah.
You might remember him from Children of Men. That was a big movie. Remember that one, Tim?
He was
Pacific
in that one?
Rim.
Yeah. It was also in Pacific Rim. That's right.
I remember.
I'll tell you what I remember him from, though.
King Arthur?
Yeah, King Arthur, the Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie.
What a piece of shit.
I covered that for Everything I Learned from Movies. Fuck me. That's a great, terrible movie.
Oh, God, there's so much rum in here. Oh, it's like a big mouthful.
Oh, God. You don't have to gag on the microphone, Candice.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. We're getting a precursor of things to come later on.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. Jim Beaver plays Carter.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were going to point him out.
He's in Breaking Bad. He played
to.
Lawson.
Yeah. Oh, she's not up to that yet.
Not really who I was. What I was going to point him out for.
So this guy sounded to me like the fucking guy from Friday the 13th, the fucking uncle, not the uncle, the old man.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, it's also in Nightmare Alley, which apparently I'm supposed to watch that.
It's a Guillermo del Toro movie.
No, I know. I hear it's a good one, though.
I keep starting,
it's very
getting
good.
ready to watch it, and then for some reason I don't. I don't know what it is.
Well, you should make some time to watch it instead of watching that other bullshit, Tim.
Okay, gotcha.
No, you're gonna have him from, let me guess, Supernatural.
Yep. How'd you know? He's Bobby Singer from Supernatural. You idiots.
Because you're predictable.
Oh, shut up.
Supernatural just seems like such a perfect Candice show.
Of course it is. It's got two extremely good-looking men as the leads, and they're topless a lot. It's also a Monster of the Week type show, and it's also very bloody. Huh?
Is it WB or UPN, that show? Which one?
It was the
CW,
even better.
WB. How old am I? Okay.
I actually have the first 5 seasons on DVD.
Of course you do. You're watching that and you're like, Breaking Bad's not good. Very funny to me.
Candice is watching that.
Hey.
She's got some Tom Hiddleston playing in the background.
Then what do we got? Of course, Doug Jones plays Edith's mother. Doug Jones, man. Legend.
And Bloody Buddy at this point, right?
Well, let's see. What would he have been in that we've covered?
Oh, I got him confused with Javier Bardem again.
Okay.
Never mind.
Okay.
I did that
because I don't think he was a Bloody Buddy yet, but here's a good spot for him to start.
Really?
Right?
We didn't do anything with this guy? This is the tall motherfucker that's in all his
Yeah,
movies, right?
yeah, but I don't think we have covered anything with him in it. I'm scrolling through the list, and so far I'm not seeing anything. No, we didn't do Lady in the Water.
No,
we didn't do Adaptation.
No, I was thinking of Wreck, and it's not him.
Okay, that makes sense.
We talked about him during it. So.
Yeah,
Adjacent?
that's maybe the connection. Yeah,
he was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, but we haven't covered that episode. So there you go.
Bloody Acquaintance.
He's got a foot in the door. Basically, anytime you see a weird monster moving around crazy, it's probably him underneath all that. And then
he's also the best part of the show What We Do in the Shadows, because he's the Baron.
Oh yeah.
He is the best part of that show. He's my favorite.
I don't know if he's the best part.
To me.
To you. Okay. That's fair.
I thought you were calling me.
Timmy.
And Timmy.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of other people. Anybody want to call anybody specific out?
Oh, there was one person I wanted to call out. So this is a guy who plays Mr. Holly.
Okay. Oh,
he's like the private
motherfucker.
Bern Gorman.
Yes, Bern Gorman. He's also in Pacific Rim. Mm-hmm. But what I recognized him from all the time is Torchwood, which is a Doctor Who spinoff.
Oh, no wonder I didn't care. Doctor Who spinoff.
The guy, Charlie Hunnam, where is he from?
He's from England.
He's got the weirdest motherfucking accent.
Because he's British and he's doing an American accent.
I know, but it doesn't even. It sounds like almost like a real, almost like a Philly fucking style accent. That I guess maybe that's the accent that he learned.
I don't know. It's set in Buffalo, New York. The beginning is. So, do they have weird accents? I have no idea.
No, that's the accent that he has on Sons of Anarchy too.
I think he just struggles doing an American accent.
Usually, they're very good with doing the American accents.
That way, it's. I know when they try to do a Southern accent, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. Well, that's how you make it The Walking Dead with instead of him saying Carl, he goes Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even just non-Southerners in America have a hard time doing a Southern accent. You know, they just kind of had it up. But yeah, I think that's good enough for the credits here. Think we're ready to kick it off then.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do it. And we start off with young Edith, whose mother died. Then apparently returned in the middle of the night as some creature.
Opening.
What?
Before we see the mother
when she's
die.
talking.
Yeah, when she's a kid.
No, the movie opens up with her as an adult, right?
Yeah, she's like all bloody.
Yeah,
okay.
It says, ghost or real,
and
snow. Then we see that the mother died in the coffin.
Okay, fine. I'm glad you guys took the time to point out that she's standing there bloody and said ghost or real.
Okay, well, I did want to point out what her mother died from.
What did her mother die from?
It's black cholera. They specifically said it was black
racist.
Cholera. So I looked this up because I was like, I know cholera, but what's black cholera? A victim could be healthy and active in the morning and then suffer a kind of stunning shock followed by vomiting and uncontrolled evacuation of the bowels.
Yeah.
Damn.
So they'd be dead in a day. And
I
found
Yeah.
You shit yourself to death. Well, that's just what cholera is. Because you get dehydrated. But I did find this out, and I thought it was very interesting. The French called it mort de chien, the dog's death.
What?
Is what her mother died from.
From the dog's death?
Yeah, and it plays into later in the movie.
Oh,
there's a dog.
Yeah, and the dog killed her.
A dog that's a papillon. Papillon in French means butterfly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Damn, Candice. You know, Candice, I gotta hand it to you because when I masturbate or when I'm finished masturbating, my head is so cloudy, even more than it normally is. I can't even think to start thinking about all these little details. You know what I'm saying?
Usually I just close the browser tab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, what really gets me off is smart stuff.
That's what it is. It's like Candice is there going, oh, I can actually somebody about this.
Oh, God, he spoke French. Oh, God.
Candice is just flicking the bean to this movie, and she goes, and it's a fucking papillon. God damn, the layers are...
Oh.
The bean.
I don't know if you know this, but toro is Spanish for bull.
No shit.
And this podcast is full of a lot of bull. So.
That's true.
The layers, they're everywhere, Candice.
There you go. Oh, man. So, yeah, after Candice's dog aside about the fucking black plague.
What? I thought it was a good touch, specifically black cholera.
So, wait a second.
You heard you go through it already.
The guy who escaped from Devil's Island, his actual name was Butterfly?
I thought that was his nickname because he had the tattoo on his chest.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
You got a prison tattoo of a butterfly?
Yeah, because butterflies are free, man.
Okay. That's an interesting prison tattoo. What do you want? I want a butterfly. Cool, man.
Hey, I mean, kind of would show that you are the toughest.
I guess, yeah.
Because, I mean, you'd have to be really fucking confident in your abilities if you're going to get a butterfly tattoo. Fucking mess with me. Clearly, I'm not afraid.
That was the whole thing about when dudes started wearing earrings for the first time. It was like, see how tough I am? I'm going to put an earring in my ear, and I dare you to say something about it, right? So, yeah, butterfly tattoo and an earring in jail, you'd be king.
I thought pirates wore earrings, Tim. Aren't they already, really tough?
Well,
they would wear their
I'm talking like in modern American culture. Because I don't think that dudes were wearing earrings in the 50s or 60s.
Guys are going around saying, hey, I'm tough, just like a pirate. Look at me. Got this hoop.
Well, you don't fuck with pirates, right?
Dangly earring. I'm daring you.
There's an honest-to-God vet who's missing an eye. He's not even wearing a fucking earring, you know? And it's like, okay, he's the toughest guy here.
The dude wearing a tutu, you're like, I'm not going to fuck with that guy. That guy will mess you up, man. So, yeah, then young Edith's mother died from the dog flu. And
black cholera.
Dog poo.
From the black collie. Then in the middle of the night, her mother returned like some fucked up creature and was all like,
ooh, so that's a great
wait, can I ask you guys something? Did you guys watch this on the Bloody Bits also?
Yes.
Is it me or is the version that's on there, is it slightly choppy?
It's a little pixelated at some points.
So when I watched this, at first I couldn't tell if she was stop motion animation or if she was actually computer animation made to look like stop motion.
So what they did with this movie is they had Doug Jones in a costume and then they would CG over him to add like the mist effects and stuff, the water effects.
It was cool because I thought it was stop motion and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like that's a really cool touch for this movie.
Yeah.
But it just, I thought it was really good.
No, that is a good move when you layer a little CG over practical like that. If you do it right, it looks fucking fantastic. And that is one thing I'll say with this movie is that the effects on it are great. I mean,
the set design, the costumes. This movie is just a feast for the eyes. The cast.
Yeah, Candice, the cast.
Well, the cast are a feast for something else, but let's say eyes.
So the mother warns her, like, beware of Crimson Peak. And then just kind of dips out. I'm like,
because she didn't have the talk with her before she died, so she had to come back from the grave. Look, you're gonna be getting your moon flow pretty soon, and it'll peak and ebb.
They're gonna send you away from the village because your magic might overtake
for 7 days. Yeah. You're unclean.
Yep.
If the bears don't get you, you can come back home.
We cut to adult Edith, and she's throwing some weird modern communist shade on landowners because they're all like, oh, this dude's coming, and he's, what was it, a baron?
He's a baronet, which, by the way...
What the fuck is that?
Okay, so a baronet
Here we go, see, Ken. We're just setting you up, Ken. We're just throwing you those softballs.
Well, I honestly figured you'd question
What's that?
this. So a baronet is the highest level of class you can get as a peasant. They're still the peasant class. They're not technically the aristocracy, but they're the only peasants that are allowed to call themselves sir and lady. So they're assuming that he's aristocracy when technically he's not, but of course they're dumb Americans. They don't know what a baronet is. So he's letting them think that he's like a duke or something.
Yes. Okay, so you hit the glass ceiling as far as you can go without having royal
baronets
blood or connections.
Baronets were very popular in Jane Austen novels because they were not technically aristocracy, but they were super fucking rich.
So they're like,
and what he's looking for is a dollar princess. Now, let me tell you what a dollar princess is.
Can you order them at a magazine?
Is it kind of like marrying some old lady who's rich and she's ready to kick it?
I meet a dollar princess every time I go to a strip joint. Let me tell you.
Is that what the initial trade name was for them eggs? Daniel fucks? Was it the dollar princess?
So at the time, and this was very popular, the aristocracy in Europe was poor. They still had their titles, they still had their land, but they didn't have a lot of money to upkeep it. So what they did was they would marry American heiresses of the billionaires, of like the Rockefellers, the Roosevelts, the people with money.
Okay.
They would marry their daughters, and then they would get the American family would have aristocratic ties in Europe, and then the aristocratic family in Europe would get money. And so they were called dollar princesses because it was a very common thing.
So kind of like something that's always been going on in that type of world, right?
Yeah, you marry for money.
Yeah, you make an alliance and you trade off with, I need,
with your daughter.
My family's been having a tough time. If she marries this guy who's a hero in the army, it's going to help my status go up, right?
But in this case, it's the women that have the money.
Huh. So I need to get me one of those.
Exactly.
So, we find out that she's trying to get her ghost book published. So she brings that in.
Yeah. What's also a good point that goes in further into... I'm going to talk about this movie a lot. Another good point that goes further into the movie is the fact that she says ghosts are metaphors.
Yeah.
Like, whenever there's a ghost, and it's true in most ghost movies and ghost stories, the ghost is a metaphor for grief, for alienation. In this case, the ghost is like a metaphor for the decrepitude of the lifestyle that these, fake aristocrats had. Okay, go on.
All right.
I got a question. How does her mother know about Crimson Peak?
Yeah.
Because she's dead. She got prescience when she died.
But she's not real.
No. All right, no, Candice. You know what? I will accept that answer because if she's in that world, maybe they're all buzzing and talking to each other, right? So,
but Tim, ghosts aren't real; they're metaphors. So how did the metaphor get?
Wow, shit.
Prescience.
So metaphorically, how does she know?
Yeah, Candice.
What? In most ghost stories, the ghosts are metaphors.
Just not in this one.
No, they're still a metaphor. There's layers, okay? There's layers to this movie.
Okay. Well, the guy reading her book doesn't buy her shit, and he's all like, well, your handwriting's fancy, but can't you just jam a love story in there somewhere?
Yeah, because that's all women want to write is love stories.
Well, not only that, it just reminded me of fucking every... Oh, my God. My wife has gotten so much shit trying to sell screenplays. They're always like, can you jam a love story in this fucking thing? And it's like, it doesn't fit. There's no reason, you idiot.
No.
Just what?
Well, think of all the old movies where they'd have the guy and the girl meet, and within a day they're declaring undying love for each other.
Like this movie?
It's like,
but that's how it's always been. It's always
like,
got to add a little sizzle to it, right? You got to give somebody something to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the masses love a good love story.
Yes. Especially you could convince a broad to go to the movie, then you could be like, oh, look, it's a love story. I mean, at the end, Jack...
one of those things where it was like, none of those books or movies were really successful because of the love story in it. It's just that, it just happens to be, so they just kept putting it in over and over again, because that's why sometimes it's like so squeezed in.
It's kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas, because the love story in that is such a small part of it, but it's the part that everybody latches onto the hardest.
So at one time, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't want to see a musical.
Yeah. Candice likes musicals, though, so...
Oh, hey, it's a Danny Elfman musical. We know what happened the last time Danny Elfman did a musical. You hated it, Tim. The Forbidden Zone, Tim.
Oh, that fucking movie, yeah. That was the first time he did a musical, I think.
So she like gets pissed off. She's like, God damn it, leaves, and she goes to like have dinner with her dad to tell him about what happened. And he's like, well, shit, I was gonna give you this fancy pen because you were gonna
it's a writer's tool,
get the job, but I guess
fancy
you didn't get
pen,
the job.
Shitty box, right?
What? Damn.
Yeah.
For real, I was like, really? Because the thing I love most about getting shit like that is I love the boxes that the shit like that comes, especially like an expensive pen. Yeah, well, those expensive boxes are the best.
So Tim,
but it's really, I'm looking at it, it's like that looks like a kind of like a piece of shit fucking box.
I'm just gonna send Tim a really nice box with a really nice box in it.
I'll be happy. Oh God, that's my Russian egg dream.
Yeah, nothing else. It's just a series of very nice boxes, and in the middle of it, an edible. You're done.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect, Tim. So she's like, no, I want to use your typewriter. And also, I want to just go by my initials so I get taken seriously in the publishing industry.
Yeah, because she says her handwriting is giving her away as being too feminine.
Yeah.
Because actually, the guy at the office, one thing he compliments her on is how beautiful her loops are and how confident her handwriting
Oh my God. Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, and that's one of the most famous pieces of literature in the world. Mm-hmm. When people found out that a woman wrote it, they're like, no, Percy Shelley, her husband, wrote it. She just put her name on it. There's no way a woman could have written this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, it was very common.
I'm going to start being a truther about that. That'd be very funny nowadays. Just be like, no, it was Percy. It wasn't her.
Because I stand with Percy.
It's a well-known fact. Women can't write. If they write more than a page, their uterus falls out. That's just what happens.
It starts going wild.
Exactly.
Yeah, it goes wild. You got to fuck it back
It's
home.
gothic horror. It's not comedy.
That's true. That's true. So then she meets the landlord guy that she was shitting on, Thomas, the baronet.
It's Tom Hiddleston. I love when he's introduced to, because there's like this blinding light, and then his shadow darkens it, and then it focuses in on him. Just kind of shows like a foreshadowing of what's happening. It's the fact that she's got this good life, and then he steps into it, and things are about to get real dark.
I think that was the blood rushing from your head, Candice. That made
sense. Okay, that's me passing out.
Yeah. You were about to go unconscious there, Candice. So he shows up. He compliments her work. So, of course, she falls in love with him. And then he shows his model that he's building of this clay extractor to her dad.
Seems to me the guy should go into like the little fucking toy company.
Yeah, he'd be
right.
Good at
he
that.
Built that shit nice, and that's just got to be expensive to build and hard at that time.
Him and his sister are a little obsessed with bringing the family back to snuff. Just to the esteemed name that it used to be. They're pretty extreme hardcore on that want.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, they really don't have a lot else going on. I mean, if you look at their fucking life. So you gotta get something going. I get it. But like Tim said, become toy makers or something.
Well, you know? That's beneath them.
Oh,
they have to bring the family name up. The sharp mind.
I'm sorry, Ken, this to be stupid and punny, but isn't the clay beneath them also?
The fucking clay. That's the thing that's going to make. And they're having a hard time.
That shit's going to still be worth money. It's fucking coming out of the ground, literally, right?
Yeah, but it's liquid. They got it before they hit the good hard pack that they need to actually be used for making bricks and stuff.
Right. So he's basically looking for an investment from her father to get his machine going, and then he's going to be able to produce this fancy, awesome red clay that everybody's going to want to make all their bricks out of. It'll be the talk of the town, the clay for the bricks.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine what kind of bricks those would make? That's some fucking red.
That's true.
That's not just brick red. That's blood red. It's crimson. That'd be what was their last
That's name? How you build all your firehouses.
After that. Sharp Red, that's what it'd be called.
Sharp Red.
Sharp Red Brick Company. Then the dad shits all over him and is all like, "Hey, you got bitch hands, by the way, because you never worked a fucking day in your life." And in America, he gives him the America speech, which I always love.
America, it's about oh shit, what does he say?
That's about hard work.
Yeah, being born a baronet. Like we had to earn our living. It's about like potential, not being born. I can't fucking remember the phrase that he uses.
It's fine. It's about working for what you've got instead of just being born.
The camera's on the old man, not on Tom. So
yeah, and that's why everybody looked down on Americans, because it was new money.
Right. Meanwhile, they're trying to get their fucking dollar princess or whatever.
They're trying to get their dollar brides, exactly.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Oh, they're fucking hypocrites. It's so disgusting.
The guy should be like, it's about the hard work of the slaves that came over here. Not our hard work, because we didn't do shit, So then the dad hires...
Who built those railroads?
Yeah.
Chinese.
That is correct. So then the dad hires Holly, the detective, to spy on old Thomas. It's like,
it's a good business move. There's someone who, is interested in your only daughter. He's already asked you for money. Mm-hmm. Let's investigate this fella.
Yeah.
Plus, he says he has a bad feeling about him, and he doesn't know why. And he doesn't like not knowing why, so...
Yeah, no, smart. If you've got the money to throw around just hiring people to investigate whoever, fucking go for it.
That's probably how he got to be the top businessman in Buffalo, New York, is because he would investigate the shit out of people.
That's smart.
Anybody you're going to do business with, or someone, who might be a liability.
Yeah. Got to make sure, man. So then they have a fancy party, but Edith doesn't want to go to the fancy party. So she stays home.
I felt very much identified with the character of Edith, because she's like writing and she's got like ink smudged on her face.
Oh yeah, her pen.
And I've done that before from reading. reading those pulp novels from like the early 2000s and the 90s, like my thumbs would turn black from the ink on it because it's cheap.
Yeah.
So it would always rub off. And then I'd like rub my face and I'd have like a black smear across my face. It's actually happened. It's not a movie trope. That really happens.
And I guess you would be doing literary blackface, not just tasteful.
Well, thank God it's not literal.
Well, see, what I did was my pen name is an African-American name, so that way I can get it published.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a good move.
Hey, whatever helps, you know what I mean? When I fill out those college forms, I'm half Hispanic. Are you Hispanic? Fuck yes, I am. I came from Spain. Here we go. Mark it right there on the sheet.
Oh, man. So then she doesn't want to go to the party. She's hanging out, writing her book, pissed off, doing her thing. And Candice is there, like, right along with her,
I mean, you go, girl.
Candice is mother's trying to push it towards Jax from Sons of Anarchy, too.
Yeah. Trying to Dr.
He's like,
Allen.
he's very fond of you. And she's like, I know.
Yeah,
and she's clearly not romantically interested in him. He's friend zoned hard.
So, Candice, was this character actually you, like circa 2006?
Oh God,
you had
I certainly feel like it.
You had like the MCR on in the background while you're writing.
I did. I was listening to MCR at that time. It's true. Only in this case, I was in college, so I was writing research papers.
Research on gothic erotica.
You were writing
on British romanticism. You want to talk about John Keats, Percy Shelley, Lord Byron, William Wordsworth, Samuel Coleridge, Mary Shelley?
I don't.
Nobody.
All right, now let me go ahead and tell you, recite the tiger to you.
That's why your job has nothing at all to do with British romantics.
It's true.
Because if it did, Candice would be like CEO.
That's true, yeah. If that shit paid the bills,
man.
You'd be golden.
So at NC State, I don't know about other colleges, but when you are like, I want to be an English major, you have to declare your specialty. Like, this is the area that you're going to specialize in. Mm-hmm. And you have to get it okayed by the head of the English department. So I had to basically sit down with an interview with the head of the English department. And she also studied British Romantics. That was her undergraduate. And she's like, what got you interested in the British Romantics? And this is great. I said, well, growing up, I read a lot of vampire novels, and they always mentioned them. So I looked into it, and I found out that I loved it. And the look on her face when I said I grew up reading vampire novels.
I was going to say, I almost thought you were going to say, I read Dracula. I was going to be like, oh my God, don't say it, Candice. Don't say it.
Fuck that shit. That's what gets you Dracula. Into something like that.
But was she like, that, right? Yeah, was she impressed with that? That you developed it?
She was appalled by it.
She was appalled.
She was appalled.
Oh, Candice.
Yeah, well, I was going to be honest.
No. Honesty is the best policy unless you want to succeed.
Hey, you never know what you're going to pick up when you read those books.
Fair. So
I think it's like any book. That's why it's always good to read.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what you're reading. You're going to learn something.
Yeah. You'll find something that you love, whether you expected it or not.
Yeah, just don't read the Turner Diaries or anything like that.
Yeah, don't read that or Catcher in the Rye.
Let me tell you.
I fucking hate that book.
Let me tell you, there's a good book I think you should read about a struggle. You should pick that one up sometime.
Oh, yeah, My Struggle. It's a very good book.
Man, Catcher, I'm going to get this off my chest. Catcher
get it
in the
off
Rye
your chest.
Fucking sucks. That book is nothing but, I'm a rich boy and no one understands me and I have problems. God, that book fucking sucks. I don't know why that's required reading.
I remember a friend of mine was telling me about this band she liked, and this was like in 2007, and she's like, it was like 2005, and she goes, they're called Pensy Prep, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the fucking school? Really? And yeah, that book is overrated.
The best defense I've heard of it, of Catcher in the Rye, is that it changes back in the day. It changes with you when you read it. So, like, when you read it as a teenager, you identify with him. And
Fuck
you're
no,
like,
I didn't. I was like, get some real fucking problems. You know what? Get punched. Your parents don't understand you. Get punched in the face by your own mother, and then tell me that your life is hard. You fucking whiny little cuck.
She probably didn't understand you if she punched you in the face. That sounds like a misunderstanding, right? But then you read it as an adult and you're like, yeah, this kid's a fucking idiot, and it's kind of a book about how much
always thought he was an idiot. Always.
Candice always identified with the adults, even when she was a child.
So basically what this means is, Candice, you were able to predict how you would have later interpreted the book early on in your reading.
Grew up too fast. It's some real problems.
See, I don't agree with that. I read that book and I had the urge to kill John Lennon, and I couldn't figure out why. He'd been dead for 25 years at that point.
Yeah, he's too late.
Yeah.
You got that in the first edition.
Fuck. I was so mad. I had Double Fantasy ready and everything.
Yeah, they need to make a revised edition of it that's about you should kill Paul instead.
I saw
have you heard the album Paul is Dead?
I saw what was that? I saw a t-shirt the other day that said John and Yoko remind you Paul is dead if you want him, and then at the bottom it said Merry Christmas, and I was like, that's fucking wild. Is that from that album, Tim?
From what album?
Where you said Paul is dead? Is that because it was a t-shirt that says war is over if you want it?
War is that's Happy Christmas. That's John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
No,
I know. John is Dead is from I think, is it from the White Album or Revolver?
Yeah, the Paul is Dead was White Album. If you play in
no, I know, but that was the joke. Is the shirt said Paul or John and Yoko, Paul is dead if you want him, and then it said Merry Christmas. It was a joke. It took put the two together, but I didn't know if somebody had already done that before. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I mean, they did it for that shirt, right?
I guess.
Well, there you go.
Because Tim, weren't you a big Beatles fan also at one point?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I liked them, but I was never like a huge fan.
All right.
So her mother shows up again now and warns her about peeking, and then she starts. She falls on the floor and starts cramping up, grabbing her stomach, and then Thomas shows up. It's like, hey, you want to go to the fancy party with me?
This would never fly.
She's like, well, of course I do. Well, you would never fly.
In Victorian society, for a man to just show up at an unattached woman's house without
he says, I was waiting outside in the rain, waiting for your father to leave.
And then when the maid comes in there and was like, Mr. Sharp's downstairs, and she's like, he can't be here. And she's dead serious. It's like, yes, that's very risky. Like, her fucking reputation would be shattered if people knew that she was alone with a man.
And
didn't the handmaiden stay in the room?
No, she did not stay in the room. I noted that. She left. Yep.
Whore.
That whore.
Yeah.
She left the room.
Well, then, as far as I'm concerned, she got what she deserved during this movie. Good day.
Fair point. So then, Thomas takes her to the fancy party, and I mean, it's like you said, it's fucking scandalous. Everybody's like, "Oh my word!" And the thing, the thing where the what is it that you put under the suit that you push down and tuck in, and it rolls up when you're surprised?
Your waistcoat,
the dickie.
Yeah, your dickie. The dickie went, oh, and then that happened. Another guy's mustache twirled because he saw what was going on there.
Somebody did a spit take.
Yeah,
the monocle fell out.
Yeah,
into the champagne.
Yeah. I know it's ridiculous, but I love this shit. That's why I love the Gilded Age, because the social rules were so complicated and so strict. And you had to really, your entire life, you had to be educated about it. Be like, what forks should you use when served, the shrimp dessert or something like that?
That's how they keep, the other people out.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
I do love that. I would never want to do it because it sounds fucking infuriating. But I love watching it.
You're going to tell me you would not love going to somebody? Actually, the fork goes over there.
Oh
Actually, you're not supposed to introduce yourself directly. You have to know somebody who knows you, and then you can never introduce yourself to someone directly. That's rude.
Jesus.
No, Candice, when you were talking to the head of that department, she was like, "What got you into these books?" And you were like, "Well, when the dickie comes out and it like flaps, like that's funny."
Oh my word! I never.
Oh yeah, the cattiness where you can't really be aggressive, but you can say sly things that you can say. I was just saying, but we all know what you really meant.
Like those three women that showed up earlier before the party, and they were like, "We can't make heads or tails of your title," and they're all like these catty sisters.
Yeah, they're all like,
yeah.
Because they think he's a rich aristocrat from Europe.
So you like the cattiness of it. I don't know. All of my knowledge of high society comes from Looney Tunes. So I don't really get a lot of it. But I understood that it was quite scandalous. And then they're all like, hey, Thomas, you're foreign. Can you show us the dance of your people?
The European waltz?
Yeah, the European waltz.
It is different than the American waltz.
Okay.
Yeah, the American waltz is nowhere near as, like, room making. Like, they were just swirling around that room like crazy. The American waltz is just kind of like you step into a box and you just stay in that box into the rhythm of the song.
The aristocrats in Europe, they got those big ass fucking halls they can move around in, right?
Yeah, because I just say they held a candle and twirled around like assholes.
No, it was romantic. It was breathtaking. Oh,
breathtaking!
Yes.
Oh my God, Candice.
Hey, Charlie, did you have a hard time breathing when you were watching this scene?
Did I what?
Did you have a hard time breathing when you were watching the dance?
I'm asthmatic. I have a hard time breathing anyway.
Fair point.
Yeah, you're trying to breathe because of asthma, and I'm like, I'm with you, buddy. Slapping you on the back. I get it.
It was even more awkward, later on in the movie, like when somebody lost their pants and I still can't breathe and Candice is like, fuck yeah, I'm right there too. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I swear.
Not for the same reason. Not like this.
Candice, you're like pulling your shirt. What is it? The neck of your shirt. You're going, where's my inhaler? Ooh.
I'd like to inhaler his cock. And you're like, Candice. That's when somebody's cummerbund comes, like, snaps loose, like, oh, crazy. So yeah, they candle dance, and then the whole thing is like, hey, if you do it right, then the candle won't go out. Oh, and you have to pick the right partner, and then he picked her as the partner.
Because he was supposed to dance with Eunice. That's who he said he was going to. But then it's a grave insult.
Yeah,
the fact that
he
picked
about
her.
Movies is when people know how to dance perfectly.
He was probably taught that.
This is a dance, right?
No, it's not.
She's American girl, right? And he's doing the European version of the
I'm sorry, Tim. Wait. So you don't like when people can dance perfectly? Are you going to be one of those footloose deniers? Like, are you just going to sit here and talk about how Kevin Bacon would not have survived in a new town because he couldn't dance?
Not my favorite movie, but
no. Well, the thing is, in the waltz, you're supposed to let the man lead. So all she had to do was just keep up.
You still have to know what you do.
No, she just had to, make sure that she held the candle in his hand with him and then just followed his lead.
I thought he was making a pretty big boast, and then he was making it even harder on himself.
Now, also, Candice, wasn't this kind of a thing for women of a certain age? Because aren't they like, is a debutante the right word for her?
Yeah, when you're coming out.
Yeah, weren't they supposed to already kind of know these social things, how to dance? And
they would have. She would have already known how to play the piano. She would have already known how to do watercolor. She would have already known how to recite poetry. She would have already known the dances. She would have known all that before she came out.
Mm-hmm. But did they do the sandwich class after the dancing, or is that before? This is the laundry class. This is the.
I think at that level, her sandwich class would be ringing the bell.
No,
telling the maid.
She would have learned how to run her household, how to make sure the staff do their jobs. Was basically what her job was.
Right, which is burning them with a cigarette if they get out of line. Right.
Well, women weren't allowed to smoke, so.
What?
Nope.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed to?
Nope, that was considered a man's thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Also, you couldn't drink publicly.
Women couldn't drink publicly?
Yeah, not
how
like
did
a big
any
party
guy
like
ever fuck? That's part of the whole thing, is you're supposed to buy them drinks and then,
I think back then they just told them, this is what's expected of you.
Oh,
like, okay.
Whoa. That's even better. Hold on. I'm taking notes.
Eddie's going, where's my inhaler? Oh my God.
All of a sudden I need a time machine. Yeah, Candice, you know what? I'm starting to sign up for this whole
I wouldn't want to actually live in that time because it sounds awful. You wouldn't, for the most part, you wouldn't be allowed to read the newspaper.
Yeah, for me, I'd be fine.
Women weren't supposed to know about politics and world matters.
Oh, dude.
Well, that's why they were giving them all that fucking shit, the bullshit fucking stuff to learn, right? To keep the time occupied.
In Victorian society, it was the man of the house's job to make sure that your women were not reading novels they weren't supposed to, were not reading newspapers because that wasn't coming of women. You weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, because then they're going to talk to you about it and give you a headache. Dude, this is all making so much fucking sense. Holy shit.
Yeah, but then you had to make sure your daughter didn't fuck anyone.
That's true.
That's a lot of work.
Had to make sure she didn't fuck her brother.
Yeah.
Just don't put them in the attic. God damn it.
They didn't do a good job on this one. So yeah, the candle doesn't go out, and they get a standing ovation for their fucking dance. Then I have Edith hits the buddy, the guy that was trying to get with her before, Dr. Allen, hits him up to talk about ghost photos. And he's all like, "Oh, it's let me tell you about ghost photography.
Let me tell you about spiritualism during this time."
Yeah, and right now this was like Candice's like, "Oh God, this movie." Oh,
yeah.
The Fox sisters really started the spiritualism movement in America. That was very popular around this time, where we had the mediums and the seances, and it was usually women, because they were considered more spiritual. So they would be,
because they had nothing else to do. They couldn't read. They couldn't, they couldn't do anything in public. So they're going to talk to dead people.
But that was one of the women's job was to make sure everybody went to church like they were supposed to.
Okay, come on, fuck. Candice. Let's talk about Patience Worth.
Yeah. So, yeah, this was something that was very popular at the time, and was something a lot of rich women did was they would host seances. So, yeah, the fact that she would be interested in ghost photography is very, very normal.
I'm so glad we have video games,
So glad what?
I'm so glad we got, like, video games now and Xbox. Like, we don't got to fuck around
with
this
my
shit
God.
anymore.
Candice, seances were that version of MLMs today for women.
Look, you invite all your friends to your seance, then they host their own. Oh shit, you know what? You're right, that's true, because that the mediums, that's how they would make money, is they would get a rich woman to patronize them, and the rich woman's friends would be like, well, now I want to host a seance party, so they'd hire you.
And I'll teach you how to do what I can do, yes.
They'd sell all this shit. Like, you want a Ouija board? Here's this thing for hysteria. I don't know, but you'll love it.
It wasn't a Ouija board, it was a spirit board. My God.
Candice.
My God, Charlie.
I threw you a bone for something about hysteria, and you completely missed it. Oh, Christ.
Okay. You can't trust her. See, this is the problem. They had this shit under wraps back then. Now they're just popping off. No, I'm telling you, like, now we got things to do now. We don't fuck around with seances. Well, plus people are not that dumb anymore.
Still, actually, spiritualism is the biggest now that it has been since the 1920s.
Oh,
thank you, Zach Bagans.
Well, I'll also bet, because there's 20 times more people than there were in the 1920s.
That's true.
It's probably about level as it was.
And people love ghost hunting shows. It's me. I'm people.
Yeah, you do. You're people.
You're the target audience, Candice.
It's true.
So he explains to her, like the best way to do it is with glass slides, because you can't fake it on a glass slide. You totally can. Probably the best way to fake it.
Probably, yeah. I was going to say, that's got to be a lot easier to draw on glass than it is on film, right?
Yeah.
Mary Todd Lincoln was really big into spiritualism because everybody in her life fucking died. So she was a very sad woman who was desperately trying to reach her dead loved ones.
Was this before or after the theater?
After.
Okay, I was like, would have helped her to get into it a little bit before,
Well, before then, her son died. So, yeah, she had a really bad life.
Yeah, but not to take away from that, but back then, that's how shit was, right?
Still sad about it.
You had 15 kids, because maybe one of them was going to make it to 21.
She had one kid, and he died when he was 11. So she got attached by that point.
Oh, yeah. By 11, then it's a problem. Anytime before then, you're pretty good. But by 11, you start... Like, my oldest is 11. Now I'd be a little bummed. Oh, man. So, yeah, then she heads out to meet with Thomas, who compliments her again on her book. He's like, hey, I loved your book, even the love story part of it. And this is when Thomas's sister, Lucille, catches wind of this whole thing going down. And she's not having any of this shit. She's like, come over here. We're going to go feed some butterflies to ants.
Yeah, this is another theme, which also reminded me of that Alex and Alexa from Code Veronica.
Yeah. No, totally.
But this is another theme that goes throughout the rest of the movie. I think that's why they gave her such voluminously puffy sleeves. Why they gave Edith such puffy sleeves is because she's the butterfly that needs sunlight to survive. And also why she has a dog that's a papillon, that's that's butterfly. Yeah. And then Lucille is the black moth that needs the darkness to survive. And you'll notice that...
And thrives in the cold.
In the cold, exactly. And Lucille is always in dark colors. It's either dark blue, dark red, black. While Edith is always in like white or bright yellow. She's always in these... And with those voluminous sleeves like they're butterfly wings.
Yeah, and she gives her the little...
Faustus proud.
Thank you.
She gives her the little precursor here with the whole thing about the ants and the butterflies and the black moths. Oh, the butterflies, they need the sun to survive. We only have black moths.
What do black moths eat? Butterflies.
Chicken. No, I mean, they eat...
Butterflies taste like chicken, right?
Yeah. I mean, the bugs do. I've heard that. So anyhow, then she feeds the butterfly to the ants, and we get this great CGI of this ant like mandibling into the eye of the fucking butterfly. Oh my god, fun times.
Yeah, Jessica Chastain is so good in this role.
Yeah,
being this like evil
she's
woman.
Good in everything.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah. Then Thomas has this weird thing with his sister where he's like, "Hey, can you give me that ring?" And she's like, "No, that's my ring or whatever."
I earned it.
And he's like, "Yeah." And then he says, "I'm asking you for the ring to sell something or to buy something."
Yeah,
we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
later.
He says, "This is the last good thing we have to sell," and she goes, "We're not selling it. We're buying something with it."
Yeah, we're buying this broad,
buying a dollar princess.
So. So then Thomas goes to give Edith the ring, but then Edith's dad interrupts, takes Thomas and the sister aside and says, "Listen, my spy caught you assholes. We know what the fuck you're up to here. So here's the money you assholes asked for, the $3,000. Now you get the fuck out of here. Oh, and by the way, on the way out, could you really just wreck my daughter?"
Yeah, well, it's kind of smart. Yeah, it's smart because he's like, "I need her to not even mourn you. Like, you need to get out of her life and also make sure that she fucking hates you so that she can move on faster."
She'll be so broken that Dr. Allen can walk right in.
Yeah. The kind and caring friend.
You need some sedatives?
Some sedatives.
Sedatives. Dr. Allen took a couple on the way over to build up his nerve.
It's funny, though, because the father, he's talking to them, and every time that Tom Hiddleston would try to say something, the father would be like, "You shut the fuck up. You're an idiot."
Yeah.
And so he looks at the sister, Lucille, and he's like, "You are the one who's clearly in charge here." He says, "So I'm going to address you." And they come to an understanding.
Yeah. You, Thomas, you sit there and be pretty. Anyhow, bitch, here's your money. Get the fuck out. No, so it's a great scene, dude. It's so well acted.
How much is $3,000 worth back then?
Oh,
that's gonna be like at least $100,000 now, right?
Oh, you could have got yourself several dollar princesses.
Let's say, what is this?
I mean, that's when they actually had like penny candy that you could get like 3 for a penny.
$3,000. I think this is 1894 or somewhere around there.
No, early 1900s. It's 1903, I think, is what they said.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then also look up how much a broad cost back then. Because for $3,000, they could have went out and got a few of them. 2 pieces of candy. Yeah, Tim. He's like, "You got to break your heart." $3,000 wasn't that much?
No.
Adjusting for inflation, what are we
According
at?
to the inflation calendar, it's 33. Oh wait, no, 111,000.
Yes.
Well, that's not that much.
No.
111,000.
Yeah.
Okay, you just say no if someone offers that to you because that's just not that much.
It should be 115,000 at least.
Wait a minute, to stop me from doing my big scam where I bring Edith over and kill her?
Well,
but see, that's
not enough.
Part of this thing, because even in other TV shows and stuff like that, when stuff like this happens, when some rich guy is trying to marry a chick who's rich, and the parents try to buy them off, you always turn down the small check. And then you go back to the girl and you go, "Hey, your dad tried to give me $111,000 not to fucking marry you." I said no because I love you.
That's all.
No. Then you also got to
think it worked for Tom Cruise in Cocktail, so there you go.
There you go. See, if it works for Tom Cruise, it's good enough for everybody else.
The trick, Tim, I'll tell you what you do. The trick is you knock her up, then you get the money, and then when she's pregnant, you're like, "Listen, I already cashed the check. But now you got a Victorian era broad that's pregnant. So what are we going to do, Pops?" I'm going to call you Dad from now on, by the way. Dad, what are we going to do?
Damn, Eddie, you've done this before, haven't you?
So they all head out to dinner. And Thomas is like, all right, I got to do a cool toast thing. Right. Thomas has something to say. So he stands up and he's like, yeah, we're going to leave now because we got the money that we wanted. So we'll see y'all later. And then Edith is like, you'll have to excuse me because I can't cry in public or they'll behead me.
Well, yeah.
Well, that means she's a whore if she cries in public, right?
Yeah. She's a witch.
I also got to say at this time, excuse me. At this time, if a man so much as even said I loved you, that was a marriage proposal.
And you were obligated to say yes, right?
No, you could say no. It was you had to get your family's approval
to say no.
Yeah,
you could say no, but he also could kill you.
Yeah, you have to get the family's approval to say yes, but you have to get the family approval if you're like, no, I don't want to marry this guy. But he's like, yo, he's a fucking rich.
But usually, there's that courtship where it's very clear that they're interested in you. Because they're like bringing you shit. So there's a lot of complicated social rules that surrounded this at the time. So
and what's crazy about it is they still found ways to fuck.
They did.
Yeah.
Also, the women, believe it or not, at the time were considered less emotional than men. It was actually the woman who was supposed to deny all gifts because they didn't want to lead the men on. They were supposed to be in control of themselves. And the men...
And then wait a second. Hold the fuck on. Stop the presses. Wait a second. We're going about this the wrong way.
It was actually the men who were supposed to be like, oh, but I love you so much. We're going to be together for eternity. And the women were like, no, I'm not like that.
That's true because poetry was a big fucking thing back then, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, but that's...
That's where men fucked up back then, was they started trying too hard early.
They were writing her name in their math book.
Yeah, I got your name on my shoes.
With her last name, his first name and her last name, just see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Mr. Charlie Dollar Princess.
Oh, you think they do that nowadays? You think in notebooks people write their names hyphenated?
I bet they
like
still
daydreaming?
do.
No, hyphenated.
Oh, hyphenated?
Because back in the day, I remember it was broads would always write like their first name and your last name.
I took my husband's last name. It's not a big deal.
And scratch it out, So I wonder if that... Yeah, I don't know.
Does your wife have your last name?
No, I'm not going to let her have that. Our kids have it, but she doesn't get
extra.
it. No, of course she does. But her last name's problematic. So.
Oh, mine was too.
Wait, now, come on. Well, you can bleep it out, but you got to say what that.
Okay,
yeah.
This was my maiden name. It was.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to take a note here of when so I can bleep it out for Candice.
It was.
Oh.
And so I had a friend who was black, and she's like, "Oh, what are you, racist? Your last name's Hayden."
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That's funny.
I didn't even think about that either. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like Kurt Hennig from the WWE.
When my mom would tell people how to spell it, she'd be like,
"Oh my god! Now that's the problem."
Wow,
is your mom?
Yeah, that might be why everybody's like, "Hey, that's a racist name."
No, my wife's last name just sounds German. It's not like actually a problem. But thanks for sharing, Candice.
Yeah, Google that name.
Good.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh man. So then she storms off like, oh, I got to get the fuck out of here, because that guy just said he was going to leave. Then he's like, wait,
I need to
hold on, I'm
publicly
not done
humiliate
yet.
you in the worst way possible.
I'm gonna send you your book back. And by the way, you didn't ask me what I thought about your book. But I'm gonna fucking tell you. Your book sucks. It's stupid. You're dumb. You're a dumb bitch because you don't know anything about the world or romance or loss.
Because you don't know anything about the world. Yeah. Oh my God. It was brutal.
Yeah. You wear your hair too tight and your nails are all fucked up.
Wait. Did you notice? Did you notice while he's doing this, the guys that are standing next to her dad in the background look at him like, "Are you going to do it?" And he puts his hand up like, "Nah."
Yeah, let's see where this is going.
He hasn't even gotten to the best part yet. Wait for it.
Yeah. Hold on. I think he's going to say some shit about her dad. Oh, wait, that's me. Shit. Yeah. And then she storms off crying, of course.
Well, she smacks him, yeah.
Well, yeah, no, okay, that's true. She gives him a pretty good...
Back then, in Victorian times.
Oh,
how much of a scandal would that
That'd be a huge scandal. That kind of emotion being shown so publicly. Whew.
Well, plus then, don't they have to get in a duel?
Duels...
Don't they have to have
I think it kind of goes to say how bad this fucking father wants them broken up, because that's something that's going to be hard to live down for him.
That's a very public and social wrong that happened there.
But Tim, he doesn't have to live it down because the next morning he's living it up, man. He's got a spring in his step. He's like, hey, why don't y'all draw me a nice hot bath? I'm going to have a shave, a little coffee, a little ham and eggs, sip of pork.
Can you put a record player on in a steam room?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Doesn't that try to fuck up the record player or whatever it is that they were using?
Yeah, it would, 100%. But this guy's got money to burn. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he's living it up, and he's having the best time. Then a Giallo killer swoops in with their black gloves.
And you don't know who it is. All you see is a dark figure.
And a cape,
bashes. Right? Yeah, and just bashes his fucking skull into the sink. This is something I love about Del
Toro movies, is there's always a sort of like fantastic, dreamy element to them a lot of the times, but then there's moments of just brutal horror. Extreme violence, like
just sheer brutality.
Like this, this killer could have just this killer could have just bashed his head in, done, over with. No, you have to cave his fucking face in.
Oh yeah, that first hit when the gash is in his forehead, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but got to go above and beyond and shatter the porcelain sink against this dude's face.
And then hit it again. After you shatter the fucking porcelain, you smack his head into it again. Like, just let's really.
Yeah, and how bad later on? Just to jump ahead of scene, how bad are the fucking medical examiners at this point?
Oh God,
they think you fell down?
Bitch.
Oh,
there we go.
Yes, I know, Candice. Anybody was a medical examiner. I could have been a medical examiner.
Yeah, I read an entire book about the history of forensic medicine. It didn't really start until the 1920s. Anybody could be a coroner and be like, and you could just slip them money if your family member committed suicide. Natural causes. Nothing suspicious here.
Damn, that's a good job. Yeah.
Well, because,
But, hey, do you want this to be natural causes? Because I could say it's murder. Anyway, I can go both ways on this. Give me money either way.
Yeah, it depends upon who pays me more.
They got Dr. Quincy in a back office being like, it was murder! And then they've got this other guy up front being like, man, he fell.
Whatever. He fell so much that he shattered the sink and caved his fucking face in.
He fell in the sink 5 times.
Yep. He was such a strong American who worked so hard to pull himself up that he fell one time, cracked his head open, got up another time, and then fell down and slipped in his own blood, got up another time, one more time, to call the butler in to see if his coffee was hot enough, and then cracked his head the last time.
Well, Tim, he couldn't help it. He was tying his shoes, and he accidentally pulled himself up by his bootstraps and dropped himself on the sink.
They did miss a moment where when he was lying on the floor dead, his dicky could have rolled up. Like that,
like
my word,
like a sharp.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Edith whining in bed, and her assistant bringing her manuscript back from Thomas. It's like, here you go, lady. It's your manuscript and a letter. And then she's all like, kind of perks up, like, "Whoa, a letter. I wonder what that's all about." So she pops up and she reads the letter, and the letter is like, "Yeah, your dad paid me to say that. I know that means I suck, really, because I still did it. But come on, I'm the
double
bad
suck
guy.
Because I took the money. I told you that I would do it. I did it. And the very next day, I'm copping to it, like, oh, I didn't really want to do it, but I did it for some reason." But then he pulls the old double whammy on her, right? With, because I really don't deserve you anyway. But I'm going to think about you always, and I'm going to fight and fight and fight until one day I can come back. And
I would have fallen for that hook, line, and sinker. I would have been such a sucker for that.
Mm-hmm.
And she is too, because she is young and naive.
Yeah. So she immediately.
I think at one point somebody even refers to her as almost a child, right?
She's probably very sheltered.
Problematic. So then she. Yeah, no, I mean, they kind of do make that. I mean, that's part of what
I don't think so.
Out.
I don't think so, because, I mean, here she is. She's being a writer, right? She's trying to be a writer. Her father's supporting her. He's not like, hey, your place is, you should write poetry and stuff like that. He makes like a little joke about how maybe you should put a love story in your thing because people like that kind of thing. But he's not like, stop writing ghost stories. And at one point, when she doesn't want to go to the big party, when they're both outside, he's like, "Oh, she's not going to come." He's like, "No, she's very, very stubborn, and that's what I like about her."
Well,
I don't think she's really. I mean, she's definitely sheltered in the way that most women at that time would have been, but I think maybe a little bit less. But she still hasn't gotten laid or anything like that.
She hasn't even been kissed, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that was getting laid back then. It was kissing.
Some smooches.
Which I mean, we're about to cut to them fucking here in a minute.
If I love you means let's get married, yeah, kissing was might as well get pregnant.
Might as well do anal. So then she rushes to the hotel, and she's all like, "Bitch working at the hotel, where is he?" She's like, room 107, 106. But they checked, hey, dummy. And then she runs off. They checked out, stupid. Yeah. They checked out, and so she turns around like, shit. Well, I guess I'm going to go be an old spinster for the rest of my life. But no, who pops up? It's him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, my sister
it's
left.
Like something from one of her novels.
Yeah. It's almost like he read her novel and then had an idea.
Yeah, I think at this point, he's not in love with her. He's still using her. But there's something there. There's a reason why he picked her over Eunice, who was probably an easier mark. Because there was something that he did like about her.
That's true. So he finds her and just lays it down to her real quick, like, hey, there's like a thing stuck on my heart that's also stuck on your heart. And if I go too far away from you, I'll die. Aww. And then you'll forget me. And I was like, that I think that was Vin Diesel said that in that Pitch Black. When he was talking to the one chick.
What?
He was trying to hit. Oh no. Okay. Maybe you didn't. So then they kiss. Oh, it's all happy. And then somebody's like, hey, your dad's dead. It's like, fuck. Kind of ruined the moment. So they take her down to ID the body. And Tim, this daffy broad is like, hey, don't touch him. He's turning 60.
This is such a
and he's very, very...
Eddie, this is such a sad scene because, she has to identify the body.
So, like,
he's very that vain. Her dad's completely fucked up. And she very much loves him.
Yeah.
That was like her whole life was her dad. And she was his whole life. And so when they're like trying to, because the Charlie Hunnam's there, and he's like, there's something off about this. I don't think this looks right. And so he moves to examine the body, and she's like, don't touch him like that. He's turning 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he's he's self-conscious about how he looks. That's why he dresses so nice all the time. And she's like,
yeah.
I thought he was going to pull his wig off or something.
Yeah.
That's why she's like, don't do it.
It's very sad. She clearly is fucked up because her dad is horribly maimed in front of her.
Yeah, you don't want to bruise him because he's got his birthday party coming up. And you don't want him to look ridiculous.
While she's like pushing his brains back into his skull.
Yeah.
Did you get your money back for the birthday cake?
Oh, no, Tim. I don't think so. And then she grabs his hand and she's like, "Hey, why are his hands cold, by the way?" And I'm like, "Dude, fucker, why do you think?"
See, she really does have no real outside knowledge of what's going on in the real world.
She does. She's just in shock.
Yeah.
She's in shock.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, Candice. It's not funny to just say it straight.
Well, that's why it's funny, because I'm
God
being
damn
serious and you're not. That's how this works. I'm being the straight man.
See, this is your Lady Vengeance, Kansas.
So we cut to the funeral, and it's very sad. But she's there wearing the red ring.
Yeah, they got married.
So they got
and then,
married.
Yeah,
that's good.
Charlie Hunnam gives a look to Tom Hiddleston because he clearly is in love with her.
Like, you
and
motherfucker.
He's like, you better not fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got my eyes on you. Tom Hiddleston just gives him a nod. Like, yeah, bring it, motherfucker.
And did they get married like the same fucking day? Because how long did they keep a body back then before
Not
they
long.
actually had a funeral?
A few days.
I mean, this whole movie takes place over probably, what do you say, Candice? Like maybe 6 months?
No.
Yeah.
Because they have to go back to England, and it doesn't happen overnight.
The movie...
But there's letters going back and forth between America and England. That's
no,
it
does not
just
take
hopped on the red eye.
It's probably...
No, I think that took,
It's
like
probably
6
it's
weeks
probably like
or
a
2
month
months,
or a month
maybe?
and a half to take a ship from like New York to London or something like that. But yeah, it starts in the fall and then it ends in winter. So yeah, probably 6 months. It's probably the course of this movie.
That is so long to take.
Well, there's no planes, Eddie. What did you want
to go see? No, I'm just saying that sucks. Imagine you were like, "Oh, I'm going to go meet somebody," right? Like, hey, this chick I met online, I'm going to go meet her in England. So you jump on a ship to go. It's a month. By the time you get there, she could have ran off and been gallivanting around with some other dude.
That was so easy for people to get away with literal murder back then. It's good luck finding someone. There's no internet. There's no radio.
Oh, that's true.
Wow. And there's no pictures. Not only that, but there's like fucking crude ass fucking drawings of people.
Yeah, or taking over someone's identity. Very easy.
Or they're like glass plate fucking pictures with ghosts all over them because somebody smudged it and shit. And you're like, hey, see, clearly I didn't kill that guy. It was the ghost behind him. He was haunted.
Dude, right? Hire him. Why is some fucking defense attorney hiring this guy to fucking be a defense witness? Right?
Yeah.
Look, there was ghosts there. They just picture of proof.
Look, the ghost did it. It was right there. You see it. Oh, man. So, yes, they get married. And then... Excuse me. So they move over to Thomas's pad, which sucks.
Yeah, this is another gothic trope that I talked about where there's always a haunted house or a haunted castle. So oftentimes, and this wasn't covered in that one part, it was set in a far-off land. A mysterious, if you were English, that would be like Italy or Germany or something. Chances are you're probably never going to go there in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So... it was very popular to set novels then because they're like, what the fuck do Italian people do? That's just exotic and mysterious. But in this case, it's Americans. So they're like, oh, England is this exotic, mysterious land that's always cold and dark all the time.
Yeah. And they boil their
meat. They make meat pies.
You were talking about the trope. I was thinking more like when I saw this, I thought about Once Upon a Time in the West. When Claudia Cardinal's character, she's doing this long distance relationship with this guy, and he lives in Sweetwater out in the West. And when she arrives, Sweetwater is literally just like a bump on the railroad stops, like that's it. And then she gets to where he's like this landowner, and there's no house, there's no nothing, and everybody has literally just been murdered. Like when she gets there, I was thinking the same thing. Like she gets there and the fucking house is fallen down, and there's a fucking hole in the middle of the roof.
I literally have written down what the fuck.
Well, this was a common problem for the aristocrats at the time. Because they had all this land and they had these familial estates that were huge, but they didn't have the money to upkeep it. And so it'd be decaying.
But that's a pretty big fucking thing not to be upkeeping is a gigantic fucking hole in your roof where there's shit constantly falling down, Cam.
Tim, the house is literally fucking sinking. Do you want to save the house from sinking or the house from falling down?
Yeah, and
you can't have both.
I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't sink as much if all the fucking rainwater and snow wasn't coming right in through the fucking roof and sticking into the floor.
He even said, he goes, "What's the point of having a fortune if my dad?"
Yeah, his dad spent all of their money. They're broke. Oh, yeah. They don't have money to upkeep their house. You're not a homeowner, Tim. There's a point where it's like I can't fucking fix this thing because I don't have the fucking money for it. You make do.
You know what? I'm so glad you reminded me of this. A pipe broke in our wall and was leaking water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you know what? I don't have to deal with that one fucking bit. This entire place could just get molded out, and I don't have to, not my fucking problem.
And I am a homeowner. It is my fucking problem. So when I did have a pipe burst in the wall, I had to call a plumber, and I had to pay them hundreds of dollars to fix it.
Oh yeah. Oh, shit, I'll top one for you guys. Last month we had the hot water heater go out on the property I manage. $300 sensor went out. That's why it wasn't working. Because of COVID, nobody in the US had the sensor. Nobody in Canada had it. Yeah, because of all the supply chain shit. It all comes from China. Nobody had the sensor. The owner had to shell out $30,000 for a brand new hot water heater to be installed the next day because the factory literally said, we can make it in 8 weeks and then it'll get to you probably 6 to 7 weeks
houses are
after that.
Expensive, and it's something that big. Yeah.
This is property.
Yeah, same difference though. You're responsible for upkeeping it because you have people that live there and it's your responsibility to fix it. So it's the same principle. It's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Tim, if you have a house and the roof just falls in like that, you know what? Sometimes you just got to deal with it.
You cannot afford to fix it.
Well, do you want to fix it?
I think that's something that I would tell my future wife or on the way on a 1 month long boat trip. There's enough time to tell her, by the way.
I hope you brought your checkbook because my roof is fixed.
For our honeymoon, can your dad buy us a roof?
I know your dad's dead. Oh my God, Tim, that's such a great point. It would have been so funny if she turned to him in this scene and it was like, motherfucker, we were on that boat for a month and you didn't tell me y'all didn't have a roof? What the fuck?
No, I mean, for real. Man. I mean, it looks really nice, but it's not even like it serves a purpose in the movie at some point, right?
Well, I have this place as basically like if Dracula's castle was the equivalent of the Fight Club house.
This is just another giant metaphor for the situation that they're in. It's decrepit, it's falling apart, it's old, and they can't afford to keep it up, just like their standard of living, just like the aristocracy at the time.
And she.
Right, but Edith says, I can fix it.
I can fix him. He just needs a good woman in his life.
He does. It's his sister.
Well, I don't know about good.
Hey, we don't know about that. They got interrupted, okay?
That's true. Well, she was giving him a handy. Just setting everything up. So so Lucille pops up and is all like, "Hey, she's a little bit shitty." Why.
It's like she's jealous of her for some reason.
So Edith is like, "Yeah, this is my house now. So y'all need to give me some keys and shit. Why don't you tell me where the good fridge is at? Because I got to go put my shit in there." They're like, "No. There's some places you don't, or that are dangerous in here. So
the whole fucking house."
Yeah, the roof, it's already caving in. Who knows what else is going to fall in?
Oh, yeah, and then I love
the red shit on the floors.
The floor, yeah. She steps on the floor and it up this big spurt of red clay shit. And he's like, it's it's a fixer-upper.
That was literally the whole house's dicky.
Is this the point where he says this is why it's called Crimson Peak?
Oh, no. That's coming up.
No, she's already there for a while, yes.
Yeah. So now this is when she goes to take a bath, and while Thomas and Lucille are talking about her money.
And the dog.
That they apparently tried to kill the dog that she found.
They just left it in the middle of nowhere and apparently found its way back.
Yeah, but okay, if it was inside, it would still be exposed to the element.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, also around this
the
time,
roof.
During the 17 and 1800s, there was a mini ice age. There was some of the coldest winters ever were during this time, so it was extremely fucking cold.
I could go for that
Why?
right about now. Little mini ice
to combat
days,
global
nice.
warming.
I like sweater weather.
I don't think it balances itself out that way.
No, according to
those cars.
According to the movie The Day After
yeah.
Tomorrow, global warming causes ice ages that happen overnight. Exactly.
And you can outrun the ice age too at some point. I think in New York, right?
That's what's fucking stupid. They're complaining about we're running out of water, right? And then they're complaining about the ice caps melting. It's like, fuck, that's solving the problem
God.
right there.
Well, isn't that salt water?
What? No, Tim, it's an ice cap. It's not a salt ice cap.
Anyway, let's just keep going on with the podcast.
So you melt the ice caps, you get extra water, we're good to go.
Candice, you don't live in California where they tell you can't do things while they're doing it, as
That's
they
true.
tell you not to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, don't you need the ice caps to help reflect the sun and UV light back into outer space?
Tim, we could put some mirrors up there or something. We'll
That sounds like
figure
a
it out.
James Bond villain. Like, yeah, we're gonna melt the ice caps so the
Yeah,
UV
plus
can
also
get us.
when the ice caps melt, it cools the waters, which causes catastrophic storms that sweep across the earth. But we're not going to go into that.
Yeah, but that only takes out like
That's not
Mississippi and Florida and shit. That so is true.
I don't know, Candice. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
you're-
ever. I'm
Yeah,
not
let's-
gonna get an electric car. I'm sorry.
I don't know about your Victorian
Oh, my
era
God.
science
Okay.
there, Candace.
Let's just keep going on with the episode.
You know what,
Okay.
Candice? If you're gonna be a scientist about the environment, I'm gonna be a medical examiner right now.
Candace's Dickie's rolling up right now. Oh man. So yeah, they fucking she's playing fetch with the dumb dog upstairs that they tried to kill while she's taking a bath and whatnot. Then they set up a tea
Plus,
party.
I love how the dog kept the
It's a
ball.
little shithead.
Yeah.
No one wants a little
Holy
fucking
shit,
Papillon.
yeah.
Little rat-ass dogs. It's not a real dog.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not
They're
cute.
Then the-
Yorkies, Papillons, all those
Yeah,
little
they-
fuckers can just die.
Better not say Chihuahua.
Are you gonna
Candice.
fucking vote for Dr. Oz? Didn't you hear? There's some story about how when he was doing some medical research, he killed.
Well,
like,
that's what happens
300
when you do
puppies at
medical
least.
research. You kill some
Jesus.
animals.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
We're
still it's not a
puppies
good
here.
it's not a good optic, especially
Yeah.
when there's a picture of him with an adopted dog, like from 4 months ago, and nobody's seen the dog since.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say there was a picture of him like with a dead dog. I was gonna be like, oh.
No, I think the next thing that he did
Took
was
one
he
out.
went to a museum and in front of Hitler's car
Oh my God.
apologized for the dog thing.
Speaking of dogs, my dogs all of a sudden want attention.
Like
They're like, no, don't kill
All of a
us.
sudden, what are you
We're
talking
big dogs.
so then a spooky ghost wanders up behind Edith while she's playing with the dog. And we're going to see a few scenes of this, her just kind of wandering
Until
in the
she-
hallways with spooky ghosts.
You know, for real, like I said, I like this movie, but I think this movie really could have
Well,
done
the
without
ghosts
the ghosts
are-
and still been a good
Okay,
movie.
A, metaphors,
I
and
know,
B,
they're
they do
metaphors.
like
Yes.
point her in the direction of how to figure out what's happening.
I think it would have been a better thing because we already established that
yeah,
she's a
one-
smart woman, and if she kind of like figured the shit out herself, like if she saw the dog, if she saw that painting, if she saw the suitcase, if she saw
it's
this, and she could start putting the shit together, and there's 13 fucking machines outside
Well,
that have been
the
dumped in the backyard.
the
Wait a
one
second.
ghost points her to the direction of the literally points the direction
Literally
of where
points
the
to them fucking-
gramophone wax casings are.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
she's not gonna find that on her own. But no, wait a second, she's a Snoopy woman. She's probably gonna find that shit.
Yeah, but Tim, that was a metaphor for her finding it herself.
Yeah, that's right. How does a metaphor actually really give her actual real
Because
advice
they're
to
literal
whoever this
ghosts,
is?
but they're also metaphors. You know how you love Lady Vengeance so much because the fucking metaphors are
Yes,
so
I know.
fucking on the nose
Yes.
in that movie.
I love it. Again, it just turns out you guys like the
Different
same
flavors,
thing with
yeah.
just a
It's very
different
true.
outfit on it. Exactly.
And both of us get mad when the other one doesn't
Yep.
like it.
Yep. So they have a little tea party. And then she takes a nap right after the tea party, and she complains about the tea being bitter, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she wakes up and shits on his mom with Lucille for a minute. Like, hey, that's a cool painting of your mom up there. She's like, yeah, she looks like a dumb bitch. I'm like, Jesus.
No.
Really?
Here's what's better is I'm thinking about when the mother is alive, she commissions somebody to do that painting.
Yeah.
She accepts it.
That rules. You don't know how that might have been her looking nice.
You would just look at the painting and say, well, I guess I look like that.
Plus, it's going to be a fucked up thing to be painted back then for rich people, right? You know how they are, fucking picky shit. You paint a fucking 20-foot portrait, and they come, nah, I don't like that.
No, they start looking at it before you finish it, and that way you can make the. But also, that's a good story about Oliver Cromwell. Do you know who that is?
Candice, you're going so deep.
Oliver Cromwell was the leader of the English rebellion in the 1600s. He's the one who beheaded King Charles II. And
do you know who that is?
No.
Is that the Braveheart guy?
Yeah.
But he had portraiture done, and all of his pictures are of him with like these warts on his face. And he said that's fine. He said, I want people to know what I look like, warts and all. That's where that comes from. Yeah, Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then he the part of it that they didn't say is after that he said it was from eating wart-covered pussy.
He was a Puritan. Like it was illegal to dance. It was illegal to dance in England when he was in power.
You know, the one thing I can tell you, there's two things I can tell you: that Puritans and Batman don't eat pussy.
Yeah, well, but he was doing that thing where you hold your fingers up and you put your tongue between them. And then winking in some of the portraits.
There's also a Spanish artist whose name escapes me. He's incredibly famous. But he would do aristocratic portraiture, and he always made them look like inbred assholes. But because he was so popular, they would accept it because they wanted him.
So photorealistic.
Exactly, yeah.
Day, right?
Classic Hispanic art.
Guy.
I love that.
Candice, that's a classic Hispanic art trope.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. They're all like, I want to look like British royalty. And he's like, no
problem.
I love
it when people figure out some way to take
and make them glad to give it.
And make them look like idiots at the same time, right? Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I don't get, sometimes I can't really get mad at restaurants who have like $800 hamburger. I'm like, you know what?
I'm looking this up.
He has $800 hamburger?
Yeah, Francisco Goya. He's also he started that Goya, the bean company.
Oh boy,
yeah, it is Francisco
the one that
Goya.
Trump liked
he was
so
really
much.
famous, but he made everybody look like fucking idiots.
That rules. So then after they mutually fuck on the mom's fucking picture, Lucille's like, hey, take a look at this cool book where if you twist it, son, you get to see people fucking and sucking. And she's like, yeah, by the way, this is a book.
What is that book called? Inverted what?
It's the Caramel Sutra. So she gets the Caramel Sutra.
That feels sticky.
No, that's for sex positions for fat people, is the Caramel Sutra. So
Isn't she gets 2. It's the shortest book ever.
It's you on top, and I got a cramp. So
that's the actual position named the cramp.
I got a cramp, yeah. So she's like, here's this book so you can really just fuck my brother right. And she's like, nah, I don't need that. It turns out that my dead dad fucked my mood up.
Yeah,
and he didn't force himself on me.
At least
so
a
he's
month
a good
at this
dude.
point, and they still have not had sex. And for some reason, Lucille's very interested in whether or not they've had sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why is she showing her that book, though? Is that
she's trying to get a response out of her.
It's a metaphor, Tim.
Okay.
No, it's a metaphor. So we got back to the States, and then old doctor's sniffing around, and he finds out that they're liquidating the dad's assets, and he's like, oh, that's a little suspicious. We'll put a pin in that. We cut back to him in the States, by the way, doing all this research.
A couple of times,
and I'll summarize it so we don't have to jump around. But basically, he figures out that the dad hired this detective toward the end, and the last check that the dad wrote was to Thomas, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, so this is crazy. He goes to meet the detective to find out what happens, and the detective gives him
it's not
the info
quite as bad as the reality. All he knows is that Mr. Sharp was already married, but they don't know.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, doesn't he get those headlines from the newspaper? Mother.
Well, that one,
yeah. Well, not
so.
God damn, Candice, stop spoiling the goddamn movie.
We'll get to it. So then Edith starts wandering around the house after the sex talk with Sis, because she's all horned up, and she wanders up to his Thomas's workshop, and she's trying to get her back blown out. But then fucking Lucille comes in and interrupts them, and
somehow
has some more tea.
When you watch this again, when you first watch it, he's showing her like toys that he had made for his sister because he loves her so much, and she goes, and she's like entranced by it. She's like, "This is so nice," and he goes, "You are so different." And she goes, "From who?" And he goes, "From everyone." It was like clearly what he meant was from my sister that I've been banging a lot.
Yeah, that I've been fucking.
Well, he hasn't been banging this one at all.
That's true. Yeah. Well. He will. Give him time.
And one of them, I don't know if he could have.
Don't really get that.
Really? Oh, yeah. Wheelchair lady.
It's not like she could get away.
One.
Yeah, that's true, Charlie. You could do some. You could do some freaky shit with that. Put those legs in any kind of position you want.
She's a thief. She might not even notice.
If David from Australia was here, he would have said, "I'd fuck her like a car crash."
This
is a conversation he and I have several times.
She's for a car crash and she's in a wheelchair.
Oh yes.
I gotta stop you guys on the fucking Discord, man. I don't know what you guys got going on there. So then, she gets interrupted, gets some more knockout tea, wakes up at night in bed. She goes looking for Thomas because her husband doesn't sleep with her.
He's never in bed with her, yes.
Yeah, this is when she wanders off and the ghost is all like, hey, there's some wax cylinder recordings.
It's great.
It's
door.
Great. Just shut the door when you're
classic haunted
done.
House tropes, though. Because she hears scratching and she assumes it's the dog.
Oh,
and she tries to pull open the door, then she sees the dogs further down the hallway, not inside this closet. And then the closet, you see this ghost face, and the closet slams shut. And then she opens it.
Yeah. Then she goes.
Slam the door, slam open.
And so she opens it, and that's where she finds the wax cylinders.
Yep. So then she sees a creepy ghost crawling through the floor. Tries to get away from the half torso one. Then she heads into the elevator. Takes that down into the mines where they told her not to go. And she sees a bunch of luggage on the ground with a name on it.
She just sees E.S.
Enola. So she, okay. Well, and it says Enola, though.
Yeah, but the fact they have the same initials comes into play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do have the same initials.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Did she already get the letter?
No, not yet. She's about to get the letter. So then she goes to talk to Thomas about it, right? She goes, hey, what's going on with this? There ever been anybody that died in this house? And he's like, it's funny you mentioned that.
This house is hundreds of years old. There's probably a lot of people that have died.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I say when people ask me that when I show them an apartment. I go, probably. Yeah. And then we just keep on walking.
And oh, man. LA law, you're off the hook.
I know when I was house hunting, I was like, do they have to legally tell me if someone died in here if I ask? No, in Missouri you do not. In California you do.
Well, yes, 3 years.
Do you know why? Because California's a Democrat state and Missouri's a Republican
The only
state.
thing you have to disclose is if there was a meth lab or something hazardous to your health.
Yeah.
You would think that they'd want to tell you that because if somebody gets murdered
and there
in that house,
wasn't
there's a good chance that there's a ghost in that house, right? Which is ghosts connected.
Which is how when I moved in here, the neighbors next door came over and was like, "Yeah, the woman who lived here before died in this living room." like, oh shit.
Oh shit! They found a bloated body 8 weeks later.
You look down and there's a giant human-shaped stain on the carpet. You're like, I don't think that gave it away. Not at all.
A lot of stuff making sense now.
Before they found her.
Yeah. In California, if it was a meth lab in your house, they got to put one of them Prop 65 stickers on the door.
Everything on your house has a Prop 65 sticker, ironically.
Yeah. That's a California joke.
Yeah. Out here, I have to tell people if somebody's died in an apartment for up to 3 years after they've died, which made it really tricky when I had a tenant here last year come in and casually tell me, hey, I want to move out of my apartment. And I was like, okay, where's your wife? He goes, oh, she died last year. Oh. And I'm like, you didn't think to mention that to me at all? He goes, no, not really. And the lady who moved in there she's in her like 80s and she used to be a nurse. And I told her somebody died in there. She goes, honey, I was a nurse and I'm in my 80s. Oh, yeah. Death doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Why does he have to tell you that his wife died?
Because she was on the lease, house. Tim. And I'm kind of like, wait, your wife died? Did she die in the apartment? And he goes,
but they're married, even though the wife is on the lease. That's her husband.
Yeah,
He's technically on the lease too, right?
But Tim, if your wife died, wouldn't you want to tell your office, hey, by the way, my wife passed away?
No, because I want to still be able to keep that card as an excuse sometimes. I got to go out with my wife. Oh, my wife's birthday. I got to go home early.
Like any legal documentation, you would say, hey, by the way, you can take her name off of this because...
I still get
dead now, and here's the paperwork.
Well, the next time the lease comes around, but I'm not going to call up my landlord.
I still get mail for the dead woman,
change the lease,
which is kind of disturbing.
Tim, here's what you do: is if your wife dies, you call them up and you change the lease to just being in her name. You're like, I'm moving out. She's just going to be here without me, and then just don't pay the rent for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, sue her.
Until you get evicted, then you're out of
tombstone.
Yeah. You're evicting the tombstone. That'd be great. He's all like, she goes, were there any of them violent deaths? And he's like, let's not talk about that. Let's look at my cool machine.
Which is code for all of them.
Yeah. So he goes over and he burns his hand on the machine. He's like, fuck. I'm like,
it's dangerous looking.
Off. The way that machine is set up.
Oh, yeah.
And he's sticking his hand in it?
Yeah. I thought he was going to hit her.
Oh, God damn it. Smack.
After he burned his hand.
I feel better now.
Damn it.
This is legal.
Yeah. This is acceptable. Oh, man. And this is when he's all like, well, we got to go into town or whatever. Oh, and by the way, it's going to start snowing soon. And when it snows... the red shit seeps into the snow, and that's why they call this place Crimson
That's
Peak.
when she's like, oh, dun, dun, I might have fucked up. Because she remembers her ghost mother saying, she's like, beware of Crimson Peak.
Yes. So then the next morning she wakes up coughing blood, and we've all
been
there.
Less alarmed by it than I would be.
Tries to... Yeah. And it's just, she's all like, shit, I guess I better talk to the ghost. So she's like, hey, touch my hand, ghost. And she sticks her hand out. And the ghost is very unsubtle.
Yeah, drops her to the
smacks
ground.
The shit out of her hand. Whack. I'm like, man, you could have been like a little more calm with that ghost. But whatever.
What if you killed her?
Yeah. Then she would have been a ghost. And she would have been like, you fucking bitch, why'd you do that? Get into a ghost fight immediately. There's no way to make ghost friends. So she wanders into the bathroom, sees this ghost lady in the tub with the cleaver in her fucking dome. Mm-hmm. And the ghost lady with the cleaver is like, hey, you should probably leave.
Yeah, this
and
is
I'm like, you don't have to tell me that.
It's a good kind of play on it, because you have these ghosts. They're scary by nature. And they're saying, like, leave now. And you're like, well, that's just what ghosts say, you know? Yeah, you find out why they look the way they look, and you find out why they're telling her to leave. At this point, she doesn't know.
Yeah, because they all.
But you know what? Here's my problem again. And again, I like this movie more than I ever thought I was going to like a gothic horror movie with Loki in it and fucking Jack from Sons of Anarchy. But I lost my train of thought. Sorry, go ahead.
I know what you were going to say. No, I know exactly what Tim was going to say.
Okay.
Because I felt the same way. I was disappointed there was not a scene of the ghost squeezing her bare breasts in the bed, just like,
No. Sorry, Charlie. I'm going to interrupt you because I remember what I was going to say.
Okay, there you go.
Why can't these motherfucking ghosts who are going to harness all this fucking ectoplasm fucking energy and be a little bit more specific?
Yeah.
Leave the house because they're going to kill you like they killed me. Say that one time.
The only thing I could say that would explain it is the fact that they only have so much energy to manifest, and so they only have so many words that they can say. So
okay, but there's 4 of them at this point, so do a fucking chorus. Leave this house now.
Tim, to be fair,
poison in tea.
To be fair, at the end of Beyond the Darkness, the girl's sister's spirit said, "Leave the house. You're in danger." And what did she do? She fucking stayed there. Doesn't work.
I don't remember anything about Beyond the Darkness.
What? Maybe
I think we need to revisit that movie then, Eddie.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. You know what, Tim? Maybe the first ghost, when the first lady came in there, the mom ghost was like, "Hey, my kids killed me, and they're probably going to kill you. You should get out of here."
By the way, my kids are fucked
like,
up.
I'm not
probably because of me.
You're a
but
ghost.
They're still pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we should have put them in the fucking attic. God damn it! Read that book too.
Candice, wait, if a ghost came back and said, "Hey, my kids killed me because I was fucking terrible to them," why would you believe that ghost? Yeah.
Well,
obviously they don't care.
Right? So then that person didn't listen to her, and then she died, and then she spent hundreds of years for ghosts, because I think they perceive time different. Just being nagged by the mother that's like, "I fucking told you. I told you to get out of here." So then it just slowly they've been eroding and just leave. I don't know. Boo-boo,
yeah,
go.
The ghosts aren't really.
Warning,
this isn't a scary
danger.
movie. Like, there's not a lot of jump scares. The ghosts, I mean, they look cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of things where they running around in the background and shit like that. That's a little.
They're not
they do
overly terrifying. You know what I mean?
Well, but you know what? I think that's why it's a good movie, because it's not a shitty little jump scare, "Ooh, we got you" kind of thing. It builds up and it's just creepy and uncomfortable, and it's that suspense. It's a good movie.
Well, also the other thing too, Candice, is you've seen this movie a couple of times, so they're not creepy and scary to you because you know what they are and you know what the story is. But I think if you're seeing this movie the first time,
plus she's scared of them because, as you would be, right? If you saw something like that manifesting in front of you, you'd be fucking scared.
I tell you, if I was, I'd be more scared.
Man, so much candelabra use in this movie.
Oh God, a lot of candelabra.
Oh man, sometimes I light candles just because I like the way it looks.
I'll tell you, I would have been scared when I opened the door to the house and the fucking creepy sisters.
Oh man, when the creepy sisters spying on them, she has this 6 candle candelabra on her while she's spying, and I'm like, well, that's subtle. No one's gonna see that light coming through the peephole.
Yeah. They have night vision goggles that are just
she's like Sam Fisher. She's like,
two little light candles in front of them.
Yeah, damn, being a voyeur or a peeping Tom back then wasn't easy.
Yeah, Tim, you had to climb the tree with the candelabra, then light the candles. Hope the rain
hold
didn't
the mirror
put it
behind
out.
the candle to focus the light where you want it to go.
Yeah, that would have been a rough time for a peeping Tom for sure. Especially with all the clothes, man. You're up there for an hour and a half.
Jesus Christ, you fall asleep.
You fall asleep, fall out of it.
That's why they find a lot of dead bodies.
It did make me wonder how she did her hair. You usually would have a maid help you with that.
Yeah.
Good point, Candice, yeah.
That'd be the Tim Yobo.
Although I gotta say, the dresses in this movie, fucking gorgeous. They would be.
You know what, Candice? Yes, I agree. And again, I'm not one of these people who notices shit like that, but I'm looking at it and going, "Holy shit,
they're so good!" And they'd be a living hell to actually wear because of the whalebone corsets and shit like that. But they look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. So that was something I noticed.
No, they would kill a whale just to make whalebone corsets. That's very true.
Realism. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So one of the things, and I know you guys probably read this in your research, but I found fascinating, was everything in the house was specifically made for the house. Nothing was found and said, "Oh, we're going to reuse this." But no, they physically made everything.
The set in this movie is so detailed and so lush. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this movie is just a feast for the eyes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and all the fabrics are turn-of-the-century fabrics, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wasn't there some movie that Candice was bitching and moaning about not liking because people said how beautiful it was to watch? And she's like, neat.
The Godfather 1 and 2.
No, this is an instance where the movie is a beautiful movie to watch. The lighting, the color that is used, it's so gorgeous, but it's also a good movie. It's got a fucking plot.
It is, yes. Just giving
it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we just like teasing you, Candice. It's okay. So, then after her little ghostly encounter, she goes to talk to Thomas and Lucille, and she's like, look, man, I got to get the fuck out of here. This place is not cool.
She sits down in one of the best fucking chairs I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
I want that fucking chair, right?
It's a good chair, yeah.
That's a fucking chair if I ever saw one.
Is this the point where she's pretending to be like passed out in the chair? And...
Yeah.
No, this is like
this is. She's like, look, I gotta go.
Oh
so
yeah,
Thomas
this is one of my favorite.
I'm gonna take you on a fancy trip to the post office.
Oh yeah, we're going to the post office, honey.
Yeah, we hit the big times. That's like when your kid's young enough, you can take them to a dollar store and be like, "Look, dude, you want to get some toys? On me.
Here's $10. Surprised to find
this
out
is something
that
you
most
big city
stuff
folk would probably never understand. But a lot of times in these small towns, Walmart is the happening place to be. So if you're going to Walmart, you would like get your makeup on, you would fix your hair, you would put nice clothes on, because everybody's going to be at
like
Walmart.
Your mall. Yeah.
And this is the only time you get to be around people. So you dress to the nines.
Donnie's going to be
Walmart came in, they shut down all the other places that people used to meet and gather in public.
Speaking of fucking Walmart, I had to go there today because I had to go clothes shopping for my daughter. Because she's fucking growing like a fucking weed and I have to buy her a new wardrobe every year.
You
just
put
buy
your
her
makeup
clothes
on.
Well, then she's gonna look like a ragamuffin.
2 sizes too big.
No.
Oh, well.
Candice, did you put
I didn't.
Makeup on and get yourself dolled up
I did not, but my
put perfume
God,
on.
Yeah. The fucking clothes that I'm like, no, you're not allowed to buy that. You're 7 years old. I don't want you showing your ass off. Yeah. Oh, I kid you not.
What?
You know what, Westy? My friend Westy has said the same thing many and many times, is that when his wife takes their daughter shopping, it is the same clothes that you buy for your daughter. It's the same clothes that you would buy
disturbing.
for your 23-year-old
I'm like,
wife.
no, you're not going to wear a belly shirt when you're 7 years old. I'm fucking sorry. With some booty shorts. It's not going to fucking happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
I have the same problem when I shop for clothes at Walmart.
Yeah.
I can't pull off a belly shirt.
I told her I will buy you nicer clothes when you stop growing out of your clothes every single year. Like when your growing has stopped, then I will splurge.
In Missouri, you gotta wait till you're like 9
she wants to wear
makeup
to school. I'm like, fuck no. You're not wearing my fucking makeup to school.
7? Kiss my ass. Idiot.
What are you talking about, Candice? It's Halloween. Oh. You could on November 1st give her money and say, "Here,
I'm excited for this.
Go buy as much makeup as you want down this aisle."
Can't have that makeup shotgun from The Simpsons.
She's dressing up as Snow White for this year, and she looks like Snow White, and I'm going to be the evil queen. That's going to be my costume. Exactly.
Oh, that's fun.
Because you look like the evil queen. Ah.
That's a fun little costume pairing there.
Make sure that she actually looks like the real Snow White, Candice. Otherwise, she's going to get 1 million dislikes on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
So please.
Yeah, make sure it's accurate to everybody's
she's black,
fucking
so
idea.
This is
going to
be complicated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking for. I haven't been to Disneyland since 2001, and I told Eddie this earlier. I'm actually going to go to Disneyland on Sunday, a week from today, because it's my birthday. And I was like, what's something that I haven't really done? And I was like, I'll go to Disneyland. So I'm actually going to meet Eddie a week from today, dropping some stuff off. But
Disneyland?
Maybe.
I want to go to Disneyland.
I'll meet Eddie before I go to Disneyland. But
no,
you really don't, because a lot of the pictures I see coming out of like Instagram are like they're like people my age who are like all dressed up, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to Disneyland for the 8th time this week."
But I love Disney. Like I love Disney princesses, and I love fantasy and fairy tales, and I love that shit.
God. I'm sorry, Candice.
I'm sorry, Candice. If you support the new Little Mermaid, you do not love Disney. There,
Here's a question. If you go to any Disney parks, do they have only white Little Mermaids?
That'll be interesting because when I went last,
on Instagram, I follow a lot of Disney accounts,
what they do now,
so I can see what people see when they go in.
Yeah. Okay. Charles, here's what I'm going to need you to do. I'm going to need you to give me a report on the ethnicity of every Disney character.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, tell them to take the pants
Tiana's
off.
black.
Just double check.
Take off your pants.
Like the character from Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
No, but I mean, like, are they just like if you're playing whatever character you're playing, Disney character is? Yeah, Cinderella's white, so you can't be a Mexican Cinderella. You can't be a black Cinderella.
Can you imagine, like, actually, like how, like the logistics of that in the park would be? That. Can you imagine how like hard the logistics of that might be in that park? Because I think there's only supposed to be one character like per shift.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
don't run into like two Cinderella.
I would. I'd
know
cry.
What I mean?
I'd be like, "Oh my god, I love you, Belle."
Oh, I thought you were going to cry because they were a different color. I was like, Candice.
Wait a second. I just saw you 30 feet ago. You were white. Why are you black now?
What the hell happened to
Santa Claus, what the fuck, man? Why are you not Tim Allen?
We're getting to the best part of the movie.
That's what I would yell.
So they go over. Yeah, they go to the post office and they get snowed in at the post office. And the guy that runs the place is all like, "Hey, it's no problem. We happen to have a room for rent in the post office." And I got to ask Bobby
again, you know, Candice,
this.
here's a good thing, because until you told me the thing about the baronet, I didn't really understand this because I was like,
because he's fucking rich.
Why the fuck are they offering this guy? Like, well, not, but like you said, but he's not like a super aristocrat too, where you don't say to him like, "No, I'm not going to stay in your
he's not an aristocrat.
Room.
He's almost an aristocrat."
Yeah. So, but while they're there, Edith spies with her little eyes some mail that's for her technically, but not from Milan.
Yeah, it's for Lady
Enola.
Sharp, and she is now Lady Sharp.
Yeah, Lady Sharp.
Yes,
I'd say she's a little.
And in the beginning, that fucking game warden that he has.
Yeah, she's like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Nothing."
Right?
Yep. Oh, nothing. No, don't worry about it. Shh. Nope. So
my god! Oh, they fuck?
There you go.
This is hell yeah! This is like months of pent up, repressed sexual energy.
Jesus Christ!
For both of them, she clearly was DTF the entire time, and he was trying to appease his sister and not fuck his wife. So he was like doing everything in his power.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Well, he's trying to appease his sister, right? And he's like, "Oh, because you're in mourning, I'm not going to have sex with you. I'm going to respect you during this mourning period." And so, she is trying to have sex with him so hard, and he's trying not to.
Like, no,
and at this point, he's fallen in love with her.
Be moaning.
So they have so much not kinky sex, but they have so much like heartfelt sex.
Like kinky.
Where they're
Victorian sex,
where they're repressing their emotions and they're repressing their attraction to each other, and then they just explodes all over the movie screen. And that is, like I said, that's so much.
Listen to Candice's voice right now.
I know.
I'm uncomfortable.
She's breathing heavy. So pent up.
Yeah. You know who else was very pent up and then released it all in an explosion was the Unabomber. So I just got to tell you, you got to be careful with this repression and
wait, was the Unabomber married for like 15, 20, 30 years, something like that?
Let me take a poll here.
Tim.
Would you rather have like an attraction that you've been kind of dancing around and skirting around, and then finally you fuck this person and you're very attracted to them? Or would you rather just fuck every person you come across? Which is hotter?
I can't. I can't answer this question because my girlfriend listens to this episode. So.
Okay. I can answer it for you, but I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does the attraction one at the beginning have bigger boobs than the other ones?
No, wait. She said other ones, right? So
other
just
ones,
by playing the odds, you're going to find one of them's got bigger tits.
That's why I said other ones. So if the attraction one's got bigger boobs, then yeah, totally.
There we go.
Wait a minute. Who's got a better ass?
You know what?
Though?
The one that you've always been attracted to, she might not be the best looking, but you really connect on intellectual level.
This. God damn, man. You had this all.
Let's move on.
At least like 40 erections just dropped.
Oh,
right
you mean
now.
I have to talk to her?
Yeah.
She's smarter than me?
That's
what?
the part we put up with so we get the other part. That's not what we're looking forward to. You don't understand.
No. I could say from personal experience without getting into too much detail or anything like that, but it was definitely way before I met my wife. And yes, that thing where both of you
you're dancing around it.
Hook up, you both know that there's something going on. And then when it finally happens, it's either a great thing or a disappointment. So that's the other bad side of it, that coin, right?
Yeah, that is the big problem because then now what's next? It didn't live up to it. You're gonna not regret it, but you're like,
no, Charlie, that's when you got to step up the game and go to anal.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's the thing, too, is even if it did live up to it, then any subsequent encounter is not going to live up to the first one.
And I'm sorry,
you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of disappointment, Candice.
Tim, you're assuming that you don't do anal that first time, and it is just absolutely not living up to it.
Or, to go on what Eddie was saying, instead of just being disappointed by the subsequent, you start to become more comfortable with each other, and then you start to explore things that you never would have before because you're more comfortable with them.
Oh, God.
No, but we're talking about that first fuck after the build-up, Candice. That's what we were talking about. Not, you get that first fuck out, okay, you bang it out 8 times, and that's it.
That's like the best time.
Lunch, you come home, bang it out another 6 times. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But then the problem is with the subsequent ones, I can't feel like I tricked her into those. Because, like, the first one...
No, then you just continue
then you role play.
Oh, it's the long con.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine.
They fuck and it is so hot.
Yeah, they fuck. And then they head home. And this is the best scene here is when they get home and Edith is all like, hey, smell my pussy. I got your brother cum in it.
Oh. Yeah, this is what you see.
Is not happy.
Yeah, Lucille fucking freaks out.
That pot.
Yeah, he's walking a lot looser.
One look at that and goes, "Oh yeah, he got some pussy last night."
Yeah, the Edith is smiling.
I can see the Peter tracks on his pants, and those pants are thick.
Yeah. So yeah, she just bangs this fucking pot full of slop on the.
Okay, here's an interesting question. Okay. When the wife comes in, she goes to pick up the pot, and she touches it for a second, and it's hot, and then she picks up a rag to pick up the pan, right? And she moves it.
Yeah.
Jessica Chastain comes in, and she just picks that pot up with her hand, holds it, and long enough to smash it down on the fucking other table.
Yep.
Yeah, because, come on, Tim, didn't the dad say in the beginning that he had the softest hands he ever felt? Jessica Chastain's the one doing all the work. She's got the rough hands.
No, wait, hold on, because that's the same hand she's going to give a handy with later on. And I'm thinking, how the hell can that happen?
Yeah, because her dad didn't feel his dick. It was probably all calloused from those rough ass hands.
Leather dick, Tim.
It's horn.
Can you imagine? That would have been a completely different movie.
Ride.
Oh man!
Oh, shut up! No one wants to hear about this.
How I peeled my feet.
Oh, God. Come on, man. You fucking posted on the Discord and nobody responded. I'm like, good on everybody. Nobody's fucking biting on that. Then Candice comes in. You're peeling your feet. What the fuck?
I'll send you pictures of it. It's fucking gross.
No, that's okay. I'll send you pictures of my 2 ingrown toenails getting pulled out. I got video of it.
That's fucking wild.
Hey, now we figured out how to.
I don't even think you could do that. Eddie, I don't even think you can post that because I tried to send you a GIF and it got rejected.
I've done that before too. I tried to send you something and it got banned for graphic
Discord's getting fucking shitty. Yeah, just send it to me on Twitter, dude.
Oh my god, I see so much tits on Twitter.
I send it on Insta then. DM it to me on Insta.
Yeah, how is there more
Darcy, the mail girl, really loves to put her tits on Twitter.
Because Instagram's owned by Facebook.
Okay, hold on. I might have to get Twitter again. Who the what?
She's like, Happy Halloween. Here's my tits.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm going to ask Bobby, do you work with Darcy?
No, not that kind of male girl.
Oh.
This is pretending on Joe Bob's show to be a male girl.
Oh, I saw her.
Yeah.
Is she the one? Is she the one on Joe Bob?
Yeah, it's Diana.
I've
Smith.
seen her in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she seems like a really nice person.
She's at the Sacramento Horror Con. They were all super nice.
And she is very comfortable with her body, which I endorse.
Yeah, I know. She posts her boobs for free.
Hey, Joe Bob is very comfortable with his body, let me tell you.
Very giving lover, Joe Bob. So yeah, she slams the fucking pot down and eggs go flying everywhere. She's like, I don't feel well. I'm going to get out of here. So Lucille's like, all right, I'm going to go make some tea for you real quick because I really want to fucking poison this bitch. So she leaves to make some tea. And while she does, Edith sneaks the mail and grabs the Enola key and sneaks off. She goes down into the basement and opens up the suitcase to find a gramophone and a bunch of envelopes that are labeled from all the places that Thomas went to previously to raise money.
It's like Milan, Edinburgh, London, or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all places her father said, like, oh, you went to...
And the letter came from Milan, too, right?
Yeah. Her letter came from Milan.
Now, I have a question.
Well, she's going to sign the papers that are going to...
Because...
Well, she hasn't signed the papers yet.
Yeah.
Then just kill the bitch.
That's literally the end of the movie.
So she signs the papers, then kill her. But why take the chance of poisoning her? Yeah, but why take the chance of poisoning her where A, maybe she catches on, or B, maybe she dies before the fucking papers get there for her to sign?
Then why not just forge her signature?
Well, I think the downside is the fact
that's
that...
what I was also thinking too, right?
The lawyer knows her handwriting. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows her.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but still, why not just keep her? Why not try to keep her in the best possible mood? Everything is fine and dandy. Nobody's banging their sister. There's no ghost shit going on here with freaky fucking pictures.
I think maybe
like
they're trying to make it look like natural causes. Because it was very easy to get away with poisoning someone and make it look like natural causes.
That's true, yeah.
Well, also, maybe there's an element of if all else fails, we can at least just say she's fucking crazy.
That's also
Which,
true.
I mean, that's not that hard to do then anyway.
Yeah, that was, back then it was probably easier to put her in a fucking mental institution than it is to kill her.
That's a good
point. But what's her name? She got out of it.
Yeah.
The sister, she got out of the mental institution.
That's true, yeah. And that was for killing their mom. So that's pretty good.
Wow, that's pretty liberal back then, huh?
I know. So she...
Oh, wait, did she escape?
No, she didn't escape. They let her out. I'm pretty sure they said that. Oh, anyhow, one of the vats of red clay down there moves, so she opens it up and pokes in it with a stick, and then nothing happens. She walks away, and the body rises up from it.
Yeah, see, too late, Ghost. Come on, get your shit together.
Again, yeah. Bad timing. So then she goes out and talks with Thomas for a little while, and while she does, Lucille notices that the key's missing. So then we cut to Edith sneaking the mail up and the key up, and she's going to go, sneak everything away. And there's this tense moment where Lucille's walking in after her to bring her tea, while she's got the key and the letters and everything. Mm-hmm. But then she,
this was the one that I was thinking of. She's trying to hide the fact that she had like all that red clay on the bottom of her dress, which I was like, how fucking hard would it be to get those stains out?
Yeah.
Impossible.
Candice, you reminded me. Yes, there's two things in this movie I noticed. In the beginning, when she's walking through fucking Buffalo, New York, through the shit fucking stained streets that aren't even streets, she goes right into a building. Like, how dirty would all these fucking buildings be with all that shit getting tracked in? And how dirty would this fucking house be with all the fucking full-time staff to clean it, house too,
and to clean your clothes.
Well, I mean. According to somebody that I heard, I don't know, they're on some podcast, the aristocracy at that time didn't really have a lot of money.
It depends on the family.
The upkeep or people to clean the red stuff off the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. Well, actually.
It was.
Queen of England,
well, I mean, if you're the fucking Queen of England,
I'll bet it was clean there.
Although
No,
he did say,
if you're the Queen of England, the red
this was
shit is on your
1903?
hands. It's
That's
not on
what
the
you
floor.
That's true.
then it would be the King of England.
Yeah, something like that.
It would be King Edward.
Oh, Candice. Fucking actually all over.
Well, actually, Candice, if it was King Edward, we would be watching
The
Twilight,
King of Kings.
not this movie.
Mm.
Yes. It's not Jesus Christ. It's Edward Cullen.
I bet you there's some fan art of Edward Cullen on a fucking cross somewhere.
Edward Cullen died for your sins?
I'm sure. So
I'm going to look that up because I don't
This,
give a fuck what's
that's
on
actually
my
the
phone.
note I have
Go
right
for
here.
it.
Somebody create
Could you
that
even
AI.
imagine trying to get those kinds of stains
Just
out
give
of
me
your
a cut.
clothes?
There we go. Well, she must have done a good job of it, though, because you just got to her later that night and she's playing around with the wax cylinders.
Although I
listening
think
to
we kind of
recordings
skipped over the
of
fact
a
that this is
previous
when
wife
it gets
talking
for Jessica Chastain. This is when it cements the fact that she knows something. Yeah, she knows what's up because
Oh yeah, she knows that the other bitch knows what's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the keys. She left the keys there on purpose. She goes to get her glass of water. She waits after she gets a glass of water to give her time to put the key back on.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
as soon as she sees
right.
the key, she knows that key wasn't there.
Right. She's like, I didn't just drop the key. I didn't just
Yep.
fall off the key ring. This bitch had it and replaced it. Sneak.
At that point, just stick the key up your fucking ass and don't let anybody find
And
it,
don't
right?
put the key in your ass. You just throw it out the window. Damn with the ass. God damn. So
At least
so
I know
you-
where it is all the time, right?
That's
Jesus
yeah, that's fair.
Christ.
You would know where the key was if it was stuffed up your ass, Tim. That's true.
Charlie?
You did that with the wax cylinders, too, right? Have
Charlie,
them up there.
I just
Charlie
sent
sent me,
you
you know,
another
those
one.
like Catholic
Oh,
candles
boy.
that like have the religious icons on it.
Yeah.
He sent me a
Yeah.
picture of one with Edward
Glass
Cullen
thing, yeah.
The one with
and
Edward
one
on
with
it?
Bella and Jacob.
Oh, that rules. That's bad.
That
So
one is
that's
fucking
true.
Wild.
It's true. Catholics love Twilight. Oh
So,
shit!
Yeah,
That
this
reminds
is-
me. So you know I got my hair
That
dyed.
makes sense.
Thank you. Oh, it's only the front
Mhm.
part and the rest of
Nice
it's
color,
black.
too,
But
Candice. I
I'm
like
going
the
next
red.
week to get all of it red because I really like it.
Mhm.
But fucking, I did a tester. Yeah,
Okay.
I just wanted to
So
see
wait,
what
you
it would
did a
look like, and I'm like,
tester?
this looks
You
really
did
good
a
with my
sample
skin
on
tone.
yourself? Okay.
So I'm gonna get all of it red. But the hairdresser, you know, we're there for a long time. We're just chatting and stuff. And she said she likes podcasts, and her brother really does too. So I was like, okay, well, I have a podcast.
Oh, no.
Get this.
No.
So I tell her podcast. She finds it. She sends it to her brother. And then she says, by the way, my brother's super Christian.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Wow. Well, wait.
No.
Your brother
So I
doesn't
was
do
like-
your
I
hair,
was like-
or her brother doesn't do your hair, right?
No.
gives
I
a
was
shit?
like,
Yeah, well,
so I'm
that's
going
a
to go ahead
sister
and say it
brother,
right
so.
here that he probably won't like it because they're Catholic, by the way. I was like, Tim is ex-Catholic and very
God.
anti-Christian.
That's
I was like,
one.
and Eddie is literally a member of the Church of Satan, and I'm an atheist.
Yeah.
And she started laughing her ass off, and she was like, "This is going to be
Right.
great."
Oh, that's good. Well, at least she gets to get some fun out of it. I did the best
Yeah,
thing
well,
is y'all
she's
can
super.
gossip
She's
At least
really
she's
when
Catholic.
you're
smart.
She
there.
goes to
Family,
mass
yeah.
every Sunday. Yeah. But she's very like open-minded,
Oh,
you know.
Well, that'll be fun for you. That'll be fun for you when she's doing your hair, having a nice fun
I
conversation.
just thought you guys
about
would really get a kick out of that.
that. I love that. I love that. You know what? Usually I say don't tell people
God, I
about your
tell everyone.
podcast.
I tell them
but if
talk
it ends
about
up
it at
funny,
work.
then do it.
They're like, "What are you
That's
doing
a
this
good-
weekend?" I'm like, "Well, this is what I'm doing."
Oh, that's-
Uh,
yeah,
Is
I
that
don't.
the same? Is that the same week, Candice? They move your desk into the basement.
like Milton.
oh,
Yeah.
Damn, I thought I was getting a promotion.
Oh
What the
God, I
fuck?
snorted.
They're like, you got the whole floor to yourself.
Look at you.
I heard.
Wait, am I listening to? I work with this girl, Candice, and she's talking about there's a
So-
special floor that you go
so
to take
apparently-
a shit when you're at work.
So apparently, Liz
What?
does actually listen
So
to the podcast.
she's the one who's doing
She
it?
mentioned something. Hi, Liz.
Oh,
Hey, Liz.
Wait a minute. Candice
We all
is the
do what we gotta
stinky shitter? Oh, my God. She needs more fiber. So, she figures out basically that they've been meeting these women, marrying them, moving them here, killing them, and taking their money for Thomas's machine. Oh, and poisoning them with tea. So she's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Tries to leave, goes downstairs. She's woozy and shitty because she's been poisoned and coughing up blood. But the cold and the wind and everything are just too much for her. So she stumbles back and passes out on the stairs.
Oh, you mean when she opens up that door?
Yeah.
That's a great fucking shot.
Yeah.
She opens up that door and the snow just fucking blows in on her. And I'm looking at them going, this is his part to The Shining, right? When you pull out,
you're
see
not going to leave.
all that fucking
This is one of the
snow,
reasons I love cold horror so much. It's not just the danger that's within; it's the danger that's without too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's good about zombie horror. It's not just the danger on the outside.
Both of them work. Yeah, you're trapped wherever you are. You're basically trapped inside because if you go outside, you're fucked.
Right, Candice? I said that's also what's good about zombie horror is because there's the danger outside of the zombies, but there's also the danger on the inside. It's like cold horror.
Somebody could be infected.
Yeah.
Oh, is one
or
of
they
the
could
things
just
I love so
there
much.
could
One of
be
the
a
reasons why I
zombie
love
baby.
Terror.
The Thing is great. Oh my god.
The Terror is also good too. The Thing is also great. Yes.
That'll be the perfect one for an 11-year-old.
Speaking of going on with my son
wanting
to an introduction to horror movies, he likes comedy horror. He doesn't really like the hardcore stuff.
Oh man, you gonna see all the fucking scary movies 1 through 9?
No, we're gonna watch
Shaun of the Dead.
We're gonna watch Cabin in the Woods.
Thing he's ever seen.
That's
a
be
good
next
movie.
One. But he's been watching the Chucky movies by himself in his bedroom.
Yep.
Yeah, he likes them.
That's cool. Those are pretty chill. Yeah.
There's zero nudity.
Not too much nudity and stuff. So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
No, Mom, I'm watching horror movies.
Exactly.
Even though it's a 90-minute movie.
I'm watching Chucky.
Don't ruin the experience.
He's on Child's Play 2,
and
he says that he does like it better than the first one.
3 is really
That's
good.
The third one.
They're all good. The first 3 are good.
The one where they go to the military school.
Seed of Chucky is not good.
That's the third one.
Oof, I don't know. That third one's a little.
That's
a little rough with the black kid, right?
Yeah, that part's kind of rough for sure.
Chucky's going to be a brother, I think is the line.
Yeah. So then she wakes up in bed, and Lucille's like, hey, I got some tea for you. You passed out over there. She's like, I'm not going to drink that.
Yeah, just eat this porridge.
Like,
It'll
okay,
be fine.
cool. Well, here, I'll just force feed you porridge. And by the way, let me tell you about my mother. And I'm like, oh, God. She complains. She broke her leg because my father was such a barbarian to her, and I nursed her back to health here.
It said that her dad stomped on her mom's leg so hard it shattered her leg.
Yeah, she said that's why the old bitch has got a fucking cane in that painting, too.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
My God, could you imagine stomping on someone's leg so hard? Like, leg bones are very thick and hard to break.
Yeah. Be tough. I mean,
also, don't forget, it's back then. So, what kind of medical practice do they have?
I mean, legs, right? I don't think you can really fix a leg even in modern time if it shatters so much.
True. My brother's fucking leg got fucked up, and they'd put a big titanium rod in it. Still fucked up.
Damn.
So, yeah. So then Thomas pops in and is like, "Hey, can you come out here? I want to talk to you real quick, Lucille." And she looks over at Edith. He's like, "Don't drink the fucking tea." And he's like, "Look, Lucille, knock this shit off. All right."
Yeah. She's like, I'm
man,
just not just poisoning the tea.
Edith knows
I'm poisoning the porridge too. Just poisoning everything.
That's what you do. You change it up.
Yeah, no problem. You already ate the porridge, you little idiot.
Yeah. So this is now we get into the end of it where the doctor dude, Alan, shows up because he's been this whole fucking time trying to make his way there. They're like, you got a 4-hour walk.
You know what I would have loved? I would have loved it if as soon as he walked into that place, if I'm not going to go so far and say let's be on the nose and have him get killed by an axe.
Yeah.
But let him go into that place and have the roof collapse a little bit on him and kill him right away.
Just act of God, take him
That's
out.
why the roof is like that. That's the payoff for that fucking roof, right?
Yeah, Chekhov's roof. This payoff is good. Yeah, the way they do it is pretty clever. Because when he gets there, he's just like, okay. So there's a scuffle that happens upstairs.
Oh, this. Oh, yeah.
Edith
You're
and,
glancing over the part where
Lucille,
you find the big reveal.
Right? Yeah,
because you've already established the fact.
Wow. That's
They've
right.
already established the fact that they've been marrying women and killing them for their inheritances. But you kind of think, what Edith thinks at this point is that they're just a con artist couple. And then she walks in because a ghost wakes her up. Walks in and finds Lucille giving Tom Hiddleston a hand job, a very hot one, by the way.
I love the ghost wakes her up and he's like, dude.
There's a lot of heavy breathing that's happening there. It seems like he's really into it.
They're focused. But I love that the ghost's like, hey, wake up, bitch. Dude, you're not going to fucking believe this shit. Go in there now. And it's like pointing. And just a nice hot...
You ready for your Pornhub moment?
And Edith starts crying because she thinks my husband this whole time has been actually sleeping with this woman who's his accomplice in this like con artist scheme. And then she's like, I knew you weren't brother and sister when she gets in a conflict with Lucille. And Lucille, this part when I first watched it blew my mind. She goes, that's the funny thing. We are. And then she like throws her over the balcony.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, we are brother and sister. Ha ha, got you.
When you were in the attic, bitch, didn't you see all those fucking flowers? Come on.
Yeah.
That's a reference. That is a reference.
Yes, it is.
Which Candice reads. I'm surprised she's not laughing at that.
Hey, did you know that V.C. Andrews was actually a pseudonym for one woman who was in a wheelchair the entire time? She had cerebral palsy and she wrote all of those books.
Sometimes there's something called too much information, Cam.
So Edith gets chucked down onto the floor.
Well, she hits the pile of snow that's built up by the hole in the ceiling.
But she also fucking hits the second floor fucking banister on the way
on her fucking spine.
Fucking chongs that railing pretty good.
I mean, it's a good thing those ghosts showed her that wheelchair because she's gonna need it.
Yeah, like you're gonna be sitting here in a minute, all right?
And you know what's terrible about the turn of the century? I don't know if you know this, Candice.
I know. There's no way they can get up and down those stairs.
So,
you know what I just realized? Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the first time when she's up in that attic and you see that
plus
wheelchair,
you see a ghost
doesn't it have like the fucking seat ripped out a little bit?
Yeah,
you do see a ghost in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just put the fucking chamber pot underneath the wheelchair?
Yeah. And then if you want to fuck, you just rotate it up 90 degrees.
Tim, I don't know if you saw the floor of that house. It's covered in mud. There's no chamber pots. They're just shitting on the floor.
There they go.
And the wheelchair was made out of wicker, too. So if you just took a shit in it, it would come out like fucking Play-Doh. So you probably do want to have something underneath. Yeah.
You just have to have like a scraper.
Hey, it's a fucking squid linguine.
Poor Faustus is sitting at home going, I gave them a beautiful movie, and this is what they do?
Wonderful gothic romantic horror.
Come on, he knows what show he brought this to.
He knows. So,
yeah. And during this time,
no shit linguine.
Tom Hiddleston's like,
but there is
stop. He's like, stop, don't attack her, don't do anything, because someone's knocking at the door right now. Someone's here.
Yeah.
And she still like shoves her over the side of the banister.
Yeah, talk about bad timing.
Oh, I have to mention this because we're talking about fucking in a wheelchair. David just texted me because I said, I mentioned you on Bloody Bits right now. He goes, did you tell them I have a huge dick? I said, no, we talked about fucking someone in a wheelchair. And he goes, I stand by that.
Well, because he's lucky.
Fuck them into the wheelchair. Get hip dysplasia.
Jesus Christ.
That's what happens to all them dogs. People were fucking.
No, I think that one of those traction machines would be pretty cool, though.
No, you know what? No, you haven't fucked until you fucked a woman. You want to talk about
fucking people who quadriplegics watch Monkey Shines? Yes, it is a Romero movie. Yep.
Another George A. Romero movie. Yes, look at that. Yeah.
The doctor shows up and they're all delusional. Like, "Oh, thank God, this bitch fell and broke her leg." Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah.
Don't trust whatever she says.
Yeah.
When she talks about hand jobs and
look, I'm not getting my dick sucked by my sister, so don't believe her if she says that.
Just remember, this bitch is also talking about fucking Ghost. Okay, so you know.
Hey, say something about the ghost before you talk about me fucking my sister.
Now there should be a thing where this guy brings his fucking camera.
It's not really an easy thing to do at the time.
Because we had that thing set up in the beginning.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, whatever.
he picked up one of those.
He takes a picture in the foreground. There's 3 ghosts, but in the background, Jessica Chastain's jerking her brother off.
Oh God! Hey, there's ectoplasm on this picture. Nah, he busted. So he gets her up, right, and he's all like, "We're gonna get the fuck out of here because these people are fucking crazy." And he shows her the newspaper, and we get the big confrontation where they're like, he's all like, "Oh, I gotta take her out of here, man. She's like dying.
She's gotta go to the hospital. Yeah,
she needs a blood transfusion, and we haven't invented that yet." And then they're all like, "No, she can stay here."
Sorry,
I was making a joke, Candice.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
he literally invented.
They did it in Dracula, right? That's before 1903.
No, Candice, he invented a medical procedure just to get her out of there.
Right. He literally said we needed a procedure that doesn't exist yet. You're right.
Well, he's a doctor. He could have fucking come up with anything and said something, right?
That's true. And you didn't even have to be a doctor to be a doctor. So that's a good point.
Not back then, right?
So they're all like, "No, you're not going to take her out of here." And he's like, "No, actually,
yeah." He's like, "Oh,
here."
This part did not catch on
so
probably the first 2 times I watched this. I didn't catch this until now. So he's like, "Okay, so your mom was murdered under suspicious circumstances, was hit in the head with a cleaver while she was in the bathtub. So Jessica Chastain was 14 at the time, and her brother was 12. And then they mention that they've already were having sex before the mom was murdered. And that's why they had
the mom found out about it. Yeah,
Candice.
Yeah, because she says at one point, she says, he was such a perfect,
a whole
beautiful
other level
boy,
of fucked up,
that, right?
Right.
So wait, this is technically like the baby, where they're having sex with the baby.
Yeah.
No, hold on. No, Candice, I mean, of course it's fucked up, but they both say that together, for all their childhood, they were pretty much locked up in the attic.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when you put a 14 and 12-year-old together like that in a situation?
Well, they're going to
forget that they're brother and sister.
Something to disgusting things like a guy having sex with an older woman.
So it's another level. It kind of makes you think like, was she like a predator? Because she definitely seems the more bloodthirsty of the two. Because she was like 14, which is still a child.
Yeah.
But she was definitely older, like maturity-wise, than a 12-year-old. Exactly.
12, yeah. There's a big difference between 14 and 12, yeah.
So, Candice, I took that as yes, that she was the predator, because he's very, even though he's complicit in all these crimes, he's still very much kind of, like, I don't want to say innocent, but he has that bit of him where you can see he's
joy
like
in it like she does.
I feel bad about this.
Yeah, he's a bitch ass.
Candice, you just described it as a hot hand job.
Okay.
And hold on, and then I'm also a little upset, Eddie. You said it was disgusting that he had sex with an older woman. Have you not known the pleasure, sir?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, my husband is a big fan of older women.
Yeah, no.
In which I'm like older than him. So.
Yeah.
How much?
Candice, let me ask you a question. Are you very happy married wife?
Yeah, it's there's definitely something to say about nailing older women. They are better at it,
Well, I mean, we've got time. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, Candice, how many?
You're gonna get taught a lot more than an older woman than some fucking 6-year-old girl's gonna get taught by a fucking 25-year-old dude. Bang.
What? Whoa! What? A 6-year-old girl and a 20? What the
16?
Fuck? Oh, well, that's not much better.
So anyway, that was like a whole nother level of fucked up that I did not catch.
So then, no.
As soon as they said that they were together. Since little kids locked up in that attic.
Wasn't it in Flowers in the Attic?
That's where it happened.
No, wait. Yeah. There was like 4 kids, and 2 of them were twins. There was boy and girl twins, but I think one of them died. Yeah. And it's the 2 older siblings that fucked. Yeah. I think that's why I feel like they were like an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Flowers being in the attic.
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read that book.
Let's hope. Let's give them that. At least let's say they were legal age.
Yeah. Does it matter?
No, she was the older one. As long
as she's younger, it's fine. So.
Eddie, what are you talking about? This is your get out of jail card. She's the older one. If anything, you can blackmail that bitch and tell her to buy you a car. Otherwise, you're going to call the police.
You a car, Tim? They didn't have cars.
Yes, they did.
They drove one in the beginning.
Yeah.
No, in this movie.
This is 1903.
In this movie, they have cars, yeah, in the beginning.
No.
The father shows up with the doctor when they're going to go to that party in the car.
In fucking the brother and sister. Yeah. They're not buying no car.
Yeah, it's not the time. Money. It's the poverty level.
You buy her. Right. Yeah, they're not going to afford shit. So, then Edith is like, okay, well, who killed my fucking father here? And then the
Lucille,
what's her nose? She raises her hand. She's like, "Yeah, I did it." Lucille. She's like, "Yeah, I did it.
Well,
I killed his ass."
A funny story about that. Yeah, he was very crude, and I kind of took a little joy out of killing your father, smashing his face into the sink.
Yeah.
And they show that shot of him like looking up at her, almost like kind of raising his hand a little.
She arm locks him and just slams his face into the sink like 3 times hard.
Good,
Plus,
man.
what I like about here's a callback, is when he was calling them both into the room with giving them the payoff of the $3,000 check.
Yep.
He's like, "You're the one I got to talk to. You're the one who's running the show."
The one in charge,
and when he looks up at her, he's like, "Yeah, of course it's you."
Yep. So they then Lucille takes her little knife that she's got there.
Oh, you feel so bad for him. He's such a nice guy.
In the armpit. Yeah.
Well,
that's what happens.
Yeah, this was like a good,
kind of
a good subversion of tropes that I really liked, because you think that, there's like a big, strong male here, and he's going to save the day. He's going to take me out of here, but then. But then
motorcycle and riding off.
He gets fucking stabbed in the armpit, which would go directly to your heart. Like, you see how the blood spurts when he gets stabbed.
All right, now Candice, why does he pull the knife out? As soon as someone pulled the knife, I was like, dude, even I fucking know you don't pull the fucking knife out. I think the problem is that it's like right underneath his armpit, so he can't put his arm down.
That'd get uncomfortable.
His best bet would be going out in the snow. That would be his best bet to live.
Yeah, that is true. Well, and that's what he kind of tries to do, right? Because he tries to leave, even though he got fucking stabbed.
Well, that house is also probably cold as hell inside, too.
That's true.
Right? she said at one point it's colder inside than it is outside.
Yeah. So then Lucille tells Thomas,
look, you need to
go finish that motherfucker. It's your turn. Yep. Yeah. So he takes the knife, goes out to the doctor, and he's like, all right, dude.
He's like, you're a doctor.
Or I'm going to
show
do it.
Me.
And
what he's saying is, show me where to stab you where it does not kill you.
Where to do it. Wink, wink.
Yeah. And here's a trope I love in movies.
Yeah, because you could also
know what they both mean without actually saying it, right? What does that mean? Show me where it's going to kill you quick, or show me where you're going to die.
You could have taken that
either
way, but I guess you trusted him at this moment.
But either way, though, if the guy's like, show me how to kill you very quickly, still don't do that. Still show him a place that's not going to kill you.
I go, you don't stab me. You just pretend to, and then I fall down.
Yeah.
That's what I do, right?
But you know what he does? I don't know if you guys watched it, because when I was watching, I was like, I have to know where he showed him how to stab him. He showed him to stab him in his liver.
Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, he has the lower left,
that's going to kill
right-hand side.
It's still going to be a problem.
No, he brought it to the. I thought it was the upper right, like because it crossed right in front of the middle of his stomach.
No, it looked like the lower left. No,
it's the lower right.
No,
Your liver's
Charlie's
not
right.
in the lower right.
It is the lower right. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I thought it was just under his rib, but still, that's his
most
colon
likely you're
right
going to
underneath
perforate
that too.
the
So you're going to perforate your
gallbladder,
colon,
which you don't need anyway.
Yeah.
Back then, doctors didn't know the colon existed.
That's
Back then,
true.
you didn't need anything in your stomach. You were fine. It was demons. That's what it was.
Just
you
put some
know, you
leeches
guys are
on it,
joking,
you'll
but
be
it's 100% true.
I
Just
would've
because you have a
just
medical
called me
degree at
number
this
one.
time doesn't mean you know shit.
Oh,
You know
no.
what's funny?
Candice, go ahead, John.
Oh my
just because you have a
god!
medical degree now doesn't mean you know shit.
That's true too.
Well,
Have you ever gone to your general practitioner? Like anytime you have something that falls out of their realm of like okay, so I have Kaiser, and like literally I didn't feel well for a while. I kept looking at my symptoms online, and they were like, "This is what you have." And I went to the doctor, told him, "Okay, this is what my symptoms." He literally turned to a computer behind him, typed
Googled
it in,
it,
and said,
yeah.
"Oh, you have this,"
I
which
know
is
it's,
exactly
if
what
you're a
the
general
internet
practice,
told me. And I was like, "Dude, really?"
If you're a general practice practitioner, what you would do is you would eliminate the broader, more common symptoms at first, and if that doesn't work, then you would go into more pinpointing, and then you'd be like, you need to see a specialist. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like
they're going to refer you to a
if you don't have
specialist.
like the flu or arthritis or something like
that's where
that,
the money
something
is.
more specialized. It's like then you're going to go to a specialist.
Candice, can you pay attention to your dog,
Oh, they're a bunch of
Your
babies.
dog
I
needs
just heard
to
your pup.
Candice, come
Get
on.
that dog. Well, it goes back to the old joke of what do you call a medical student who has all D's
The
in
funny
school?
thing is
Dentist.
there is no A, B, C, or D or F in medical school. It's pass or fail.
It's close enough. Well, Candice, nobody gets a fucking D in fucking college, right? Or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just a joke. But, yeah, my fucking doctor, I remember one time I saw him, and he went to give me this fucking medicine, and he's like, oh, this, that. And he already sent the prescription to my fucking pharmacy. And just as I walk out the door, he goes, oh, by the way, when was the last time you went to get an eye exam? I was like, about like maybe a year ago. He goes, oh, you might want to get one because if you have glaucoma and you take this pill, it can cause blindness in your eye. And I'm like, what?
You were like, don't worry, I spoke.
And he was reading it off the fucking. He was reading it off his computer. So right before I left, he looked it up on the fucking internet to see what the fucking side effects were.
That's funny.
I was pre-med for quite a while, and I shadowed a doctor for quite a while, and it's pretty. No, this was before the mental hospital. It's pretty.
We're following a doctor.
I wouldn't say
in the
it's
mental
easy,
hospital.
but you got your
That's what you
common
call
things that you're
shadowing.
going to go to your family doctor for, and then they're like, "This is beyond my ken. You need to go see a specialist." And it's not because they're trying to make money. It's because they're like, if you need to get the best care that you need, then you need to go see a specialist because they're going to be more likely to diagnose exactly what you have than me.
That's true.
Because they're not trying to make money, but you got to go.
Yeah,
You got to go to this guy who costs more money, but we're not trying to make money.
But still, I mean, the GPs, the general practitioners, should be a little bit fucking more smart and on their fucking feet. Than if I would have fucking walked out of that office 10 seconds earlier, he wouldn't have fucking told me about. Oh, you should probably get tested for glaucoma before you start taking.
And doctors are still people, and they still make mistakes. Let's not be anti-medicine here.
Tim. Come on. Tim.
Well, no. I'm just going to test and see because I'm going to see if I can get a fucking
God, I fucking wish, man. I was Googling if I can go to Illinois and get myself some weed. Some legal weed. Because it's legal over there recreationally, and there's one right over the border. So get this shit. You'll love this. You'll love this, Tim. So if I want to go get high in Illinois, and I want to go to like the dispensary that's on the other side of the line, it's like an hour and a half away from me, I need to show them my Missouri driver's license so that they can scan it and keep it on record, which I don't want them to do because I don't want to get fired.
Yes. I know exactly why they're scanning it. They're scanning it to make sure
but
that you
also
don't go over
they charge you
your limit to
50% tax if you live out of state.
Jesus.
50% tax if I want to go to Illinois and get some edibles.
That sucks.
So
I have no idea. 50% tax is still like insane.
So what? The ones I'm buying, I think I sent you a picture, Eddie. Those are $75 on the black market. So Well, black market, you're not going to have to pay.
There's no tax. There's the tax there. It's a different.
Black market, yours isn't recreational yet in New York, or is it?
Yes and no, but it's also one of those things where it's still up in the air with like who you're buying from. If you're buying it on the street, if you're buying it on the store, what a lot of the places here, there's fucking trucks. There's people who just set up like fucking like tents on a street.
Sketch.
You buy something and then you go back tomorrow and go, hey, that shit wasn't fucking real. Hey, that shit had fentanyl on it and killed me. Yeah. There's nobody there.
Yeah, it's legal, but it's not well maintained, regulated, and market. Or
not like
that was another thing I was talking to my hairdresser.
We got it down to a
business
business out here.
Explaining to me about how to get legal weed in Illinois.
Gotcha. That makes sense. The Catholic. So anyhow, Thomas takes the doctor down into the mines, and he's like, "Okay, you're going to be fine. All you got to do is just jump on the crazy machine thing that I made and climb up that to get out of the mines. It's all totally open, the mine shaft. You'll be fine. I'm going to go get Edith, though. She's upstairs probably getting killed with Lucille. I'll be right back." So we go up to Lucille and Edith, and they're having the parlor scene where she's explaining her motive and the whole like, oh, I've kept him alive. I've kept this whole fucking charade going. And she,
that's how good my hand jobs are.
Yeah. And by the way, killing you is a mercy. You don't have any family, and there's nobody to care for you. So
yeah, I like that. She says at this point when she's doing the exposition, she's like, we picked women who were rich, who were lonely, who didn't have anybody, who didn't have any family that would miss them.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, this one had family until you fucking killed the goddamn husband. That's why she doesn't have family. So does that mean because this fucking bitch just saying is crazy, she killed all the other fucking people's family? She doesn't have any family left to come look for her.
That's a good point. Yeah. So then she's like, well, what about when you killed the one lady's baby? That was fucked up. She's like, let me tell you about the baby.
Got me, yeah.
That was
my incest baby.
That was
that's a ghost baby.
That's a baby ghost.
Baby ghost.
Yeah, and it was too incest, so
well, they said that it was
they
born
didn't
wrong,
want to keep it,
but she wanted to keep it, and the woman swore up and down that she could keep it alive.
Well, right. No, okay. So when I say, she, the woman wanted to keep it around. Lucille did not.
No, Lucille wanted to keep the baby.
So who's the woman who wanted to keep the baby around?
She's like, it was born wrong, but I still wanted it. And she said, talking about the ex-wife being like, she said that she could keep it alive.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
So one of Tom Hiddleston's wives that he married.
Yes.
Is the one who said that she can keep it alive? Is that what you're saying? So that woman found out that her husband is fucking his sister and got his sister pregnant?
Because she said
and gave birth
that Tom
to a
Hiddleston never
Mongoloid
fucked any
kid?
of the other wives. He's only ever fucked his sister. Until now.
Well, till now.
Wow, that's some fucking hardcore shit, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that dude's got some fucking game.
He does have some game.
That guy's
Tom
wife
Hiddleston.
was fucking ride or die, man.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, come on, Ken. This is only so much fucking good looks and go for. Yeah. Can Tom Hiddleston talk you into? Hey, I fucked my sister Tilda Hiddleston. We had a fucking ugly ass baby that's got fucking web feet, looks like the penguin.
Well, they were also like, "You're going to die
care
unless you keep this baby alive." Most likely was the situation.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So they told you that, Candice, and also
be
he's
like, "No
never
deal.
going to
Just
fuck
kill me
you.
now. It's not worth it."
Yeah, that's right.
No deal. Kill me now. Here, I'll kill this.
Oh no. Okay, all right. We'll make a compromise. Once a month, you give him a hot hand job.
Yep. Oh God. So then she yells at Edith, "Look, bitch, sign these fucking papers." And then this is when she reveals she killed Edith's father. And Edith sees the pen in her hand. It's like, oh, that's the pen my dad gave me. Hey, I got a fun idea. And she fucking stabs her. Lucille.
The right tool for the right job, right?
Yeah, right tool for
Plus,
the right job.
Don't sign the fucking papers. Sign the papers fucking Poppy Cuckoo. That's it.
Poppy Cuckoo. Okay. No, that's a good point. So
I'm going to fucking die. I'm not going to give you my money to top it all off, right? It's not like you're going to let me live.
Not to mention on
she's
top
like,
of
you
it,
thought
Lucille's
you were a writer,
burning her
and she's
fucking
burning
novel that she wrote the whole time. Yeah.
Why do movies have to do this?
So
it still doesn't. Watching that shit burn still doesn't hurt as much as what he said on that staircase, though.
Yeah. You got the 1-2 punch on riding women here, man. For sure. So stabs her in the fucking chest and tries to, get away. And then this is when we get the chase scene. Because, she runs over, grabs a little knife. Then she runs down to escape, gets to the elevator, sees Thomas. And she's like, look, fucker, I don't trust your ass, you dickhead. And he's like, look, just wait for me. I'm going to go.
Trust me one more time, Candice.
Yeah.
Just one more time. Trust me.
I'm going to go get your papers, and I'll be back. So he runs in, but he doesn't get the papers. He just burns the papers. Yep. Yeah. And Lucille's like, what the fuck what did you do?
Well, is this because he gets a speech of like, we can go away, we can start all over?
Loves his sister. Like his entire life has been nothing but his sister. And since he was a little kid, it's been...
Right. But then at the end of the speech...
I think that this is the worst possible outcome that any dude has ever gotten to suggest.
Because he's like, well, go away. We'll start over. We don't have to be tied to this place anymore. And he says something, that all of us. And she goes, what do you mean? All of us. Yeah, because at first she was like, I'm going along with this. This is hard to swallow because I was supposed to be mistress of this manor. But now he's like, all of us, I actually am in love with
but then he's all like,
Edith. And that's when she freaks out.
Yeah, so as long as
his mind,
Roper
that's a possibility of working out. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, he's going for it. What are you going to do? So she turns around.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take at threesomes, right?
Fair. It's going to be a little hard to talk your wife into fucking and your sister, but
they're all very good looking people. So why not?
Unless you're. Well, I was going to say, Eddie, unless you're like from Candice's neck of the woods, it's probably a little easier than you think.
Very true. So then she whips around with this fucking knife and starts stabbing the shit out of him. And Charles, there was a particular stab that you were quite a fan of.
Oh, so I'm watching him get stabbed, and then when she just brings that knife up and sticks him right under the eye, I actually went, oh, and I started laughing out loud because it was so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
It's a great fucking shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially because that's like one of those ones where like you hear of people getting shot in the face there and it doesn't kill them.
Yeah.
Well,
because it depends on where the blade is going, where the bullet's going, whether up or down, left or right, right?
Yeah. And and there's not much back there besides the brain, and just it was like, oh, fuck.
See his fucking eyes start turning red and bleeding.
But it's also like extremely fucked up because she immediately regrets her little temper tantrum there of stabbing her brother lover to death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's a crazy bitch.
Incest.
Let me tell you, you know what the worst kind of crazy pussy is?
Your sister.
Your sister's crazy pussy. Okay?
Yeah. So he fucking pulls that thing out. And I'm like, oh, dude, leave that in there. Like, you're done. Just forget it.
It's a great fucking shot effect, the way that they did, because when he pulls it out, I mean, I can figure out how they did it. They did it with like just like a prop thing, and they just like glued it to a little bit to his skin. But it actually pulls away his fucking cheek while he's pulling it out.
It looked really good, man. Looked fucking great.
If they did that CGI today, that thing would fucking look like just like nothing.
So then dumbass Edith was hanging out in the elevator this whole time. And she's all like, well, I guess I'll go look for Thomas. Because, he's still cool.
Well, she can't hear that because he's
my number two choice. Now that he's alive, let me go.
But he doesn't scream. That's just it.
Because he got stabbed through his face. He should have.
But the sister's like
she cut his fucking vocal cords. If he's not dead, the knife had to go down, right?
Like, you cunt! What the fuck did you do? No, nothing. So she goes in there. No, it's Lucille, fucking now berserker mode. Lucille grabs the knives. Fucking, they're chasing each other around. We get a good cage match in the elevator for a minute, where she's swiping in with that fucking little scalpel knife thing, and Edith has the big fucking kitchen knife stabbing at her, cuts her fingers all up and shit. Then she makes her way down to the mines. Lucille chases after her, gets down there. She gets Thomas, and she's like, dude, or not Thomas. Thomas is fucked.
Alan.
She gets Alan, and it's like, dude, hide. Just trust me. Lucille pops in, moves this tile out of the way, pulls out the fucking God Killer cleaver, this giant cleaver. She's like, yeah, a little thing I had from little time with my mom.
From my mom, yes.
Yeah, you met her in the tub with the ghost version of this in her face.
In room 237.
Yeah. So then Edith gets the knife, and we get the little final showdown. So Edith runs over and goes up the mine shaft, and they're ducking around in the snow with all the machinery everywhere that they've been building with the money from killing.
Well, I think this is where we see that there's been 20 different fucking machines that they built, right?
Yep.
They're just discarded, yeah.
Yeah, and you get one of those classic cat and mouse chase.
Yeah, that's not my
scenes
favorite
Candice
part of the
loves.
movie, that's for sure.
As she climbed up out of the ground.
Yeah, well, guess what? Guess who's dead? So
yeah. So
the cat and mouse, has she climbed up out of the ground yet?
Yeah.
Okay, when she did that, I don't know. I'm the youngest one here, so I'm sure you guys can sympathize with this. But when she kind of hopped out of the ground and she goes, "Ugh!" and you hear her bones crack, I was like, "That's me every fucking morning."
Yeah.
Oh, I walked down the hallway and I
strange
moved my
crap
hip
in
the
my
wrong
back
way and I started
box.
limping. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But this was
You move your hip the wrong way and you start seeing ghosts pointing at you and you're like, "Oh, fuck."
I'm 15 pounds overweight.
Oh my God, I don't know what your secret is.
Like that. What the hell?
Tim,
Dude.
Well, I could be always, either drunk or high, and I don't feel
that's
it.
what it is. Tim's high all the time. He feels nothing.
Tim, this is your superpower, buddy. So then they're having a little
I'm unbreakable, y'all.
Yeah, you're Bruce Willis.
So they have
What? I don't recognize what you said.
Huh?
Did their little standoff with the fucking blades, right? And then Edith is like, "Oh shit, turn around. Look behind you. It's him." And she's like, "I'm not going to fall for that." She's like, "No, for realsies. Look behind you."
Yo, it's your brother. He's got his dick out. Look at him.
It's your brother behind you, and he's saying, "I was a better lay than you." And she turns
And
around.
I was a virgin.
And she didn't seem like a virgin when she was
She turns
mounted.
around, sees the brother ghost. No, she was doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, you know what? No, Candice is right, because back then, how did she even know? How did she even dare to think that
Maybe
she's
she
a
wasn't
woman
as
to get on
innocent
top?
as yeah.
She knows her shit. Yeah, she knows her shit. Yeah.
Well, Candice, don't
Yeah,
you
it's
have a
called,
book that deals with
The Claiming
that?
of Sleeping Beauty. Yeah,
Anne Rice?
My
Should I
God,
bring
Tim,
that-
I was not
should I bring
expecting
that
you to
book with
actually
me
catch
to
that
Disneyland
reference.
this weekend?
I'm watching Interview with the Vampire, the TV series. I'm going to catch that reference. Come on.
So yeah, she turns around, sees him, and then
Candice, you watch Twilight to try to get with some guy. I read
Ian
Anne
Roquelaire.
Rice erotic fiction under a different name. So
try to get with some guy. So the whole time though, she's all like, I'm not going to stop until you kill me or I kill you. But yeah, she turns around, looks at her brother, and gets the little tap on the shoulders, like, "Well, what do you want?" Then kabong in the face with the fucking shovel. She's on the ground, like kind of crawling around, trying to get back up. She's like, "I'm not going to stop until I kill you or you kill me."
Yeah.
Edith's like, "Bitch, I heard you the first time."
Oh man, fucking
takes her ass out
slams
with the
this
shovel.
huge shovel on the top of her head, and you see her neck compressed down into her spine.
Yeah.
She's so dead.
Yeah, she's done. She just shit
All right,
out.
my one
a couple of
disappointment
vertebrae.
with this movie is, does
Not really.
a one-liner fit into a gothic horror movie? Yeah.
I
I was kind of disappointed that she said anything at all. Just fucking kill it. That's it. Back then, they weren't like, go ahead, make my day. Right?
Tim, she invented the one-liner.
Oh, that's where it comes from?
I
Yeah.
mean, Tim, they have a one-liner in the Bible. Jesus says, "Forgive them; they know not what they do."
That's a pretty good one.
And then he kills somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, no, then he ascends to
and then back
heaven
in Genesis,
and
he
leads
says,
them all,
"From the soil, his
That's
blood
true.
cries out to
he
me."
does tease out.
It's a good.
Yep.
That's a good line.
Pretty sure that was in an AC/DC song.
That was the moment for Candice's hairdresser right there. In the So yeah, she reaches over and touches Ghost Thomas one last time, then hooks up with the charming doctor, and they walk off into the sunset. The end.
And he's dead, right?
Are any of them going to die because she's still suffering the effects of poison?
He's dead.
So, oh wait, hold on, yo! This fucking bitch set the whole thing up because she said she'd rather be a widow, right?
Yeah, she's still a lady. She's still a lady.
There you go. Hey, foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. So that was the movie. Tim, buddy, what do you think? You suggest?
I really, really like this movie. Like I said, I think this movie. I think I really would have liked this movie even if there wasn't ghosts in it. But what I can accept that the ghost is like in the beginning of the movie where she says it's not a ghost story; it's a story with ghost in it.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good setup. That's a good, little bridge to build on it. Highly recommend this movie. I really did not think I was going to like this movie at all when I read the brief synopsis of it. Between the director, who I'm not like, I don't like. It's not like I don't like him, but I'm like, oh, he's doing a movie. I have to see it. When I saw the cast, I was just like, it's probably not going to be that great of a movie. But then I remembered Charlie didn't pick it, so I was like, it's got to be okay.
Charlie, what about you, buddy?
You know what? I share a lot of the same sentiments as Tim. Del Toro is not on my high list.
Especially about you not picking this movie. That's why it's good.
I'm getting there, Tim. I'm getting there. It's
on. I got to step on you.
It's on my high list of directors who I'm not really, like, I have to see his movie. I'm sorry. How do I put it? His movies, there's like this level of whimsy. Like it is very much a fairy tale. Okay. There's a lot of. That's not what I'm into. I like lollipops in my mouth and butter in my ass. The simple things. That's just me. But
I'm not bailing you out of jail, Charlie.
Oh, it's okay. You're on the other side of the country. It's okay. You're too far.
I got
it. But I enjoyed this movie. It was really good. And like Tim said, if it didn't have ghosts in it, I still would have said, holy shit, this was a great movie. But they added like a different layer to it. I would recommend this movie all day long.
Well, I would know.
Awesome.
Ask me.
Candice, I'm not going to ask you. I would say.
Come on, you're busy making the mac and cheese. I can hear it.
That's one of the things that I love about Del Toro is his whimsy, is the fact that he combines the beautiful and the horrible together, and that dichotomy is what makes his work so compelling. That's what makes it so powerful and unforgettable, is because you have these moments of extreme beauty with the set pieces and the cast and the costumes that are there, but also there's incredible violence and darkness to it that also puts you on edge. And it's the combination of the two that makes him such an incredible master of his work that is unlike anyone else is doing. 100%. You've never seen Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth is what you're saying?
Oh my God, Tim, you have got to see Pan's Labyrinth.
Nope.
I think you dig that.
It is. Honestly, it's so fucking good.
It's probably his most accessible work, I would say.
Wow.
It's very good. Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, based on just watching this movie, I will watch it because I really, really thought I was going to hate this movie. I thought before I even watched it, I was like, oh, man, it's 2 fucking hours. Jesus fucking Christ.
Thought it was too highfalutin.
No, it's just like I said, I'm not really that big of a fan of gothic horror.
Tim is a
for most of it, it's too slow moving and it's a lot of ghost shit and stuff like that, and that's just not my thing. But the way that he did it, and I guess look, I think it's true with anything. If you give a good director anything, they can make something out of it.
It's true.
Tim's ghost movies involve graphic rape of a woman.
Yeah.
That's what
true.
he
Yes,
wants.
I will say my 2 favorite ghost movies is
but also,
The
if you want to see a good Guillermo del Toro ghost story, watch Devil's Backbone. I think I mentioned it when we were in a bonus episode.
Yeah.
Is that a ghost thing? Because I think I've always seen the cover
and it's like very fucking good. It's even better than Crimson Peak.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely watch Devil's Backbone. It's really fucking good.
Wow. Candice.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I will watch those next two movies.
And I got to say, I enjoyed it. I don't usually like ghost stories. Big spooky haunted house stuff is not my thing, but I think there was a lot more under the hood of this one.
Oh no, this is very. No, well, I mean, Mike
Flanagan's
got a lot going under the hood too.
So,
but this is definitely Guillermo del Toro is better at it than Mike Flanagan is, and I like Mike Flanagan.
No, I know. I'm not saying Mike Flanagan's not talented. It's just that his flavor is not for me. So, yeah, but I would say definitely.
Oh God, I love Dr. Sleep. Oh, fucking House on Haunted Hill.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, the Haunting of Hill House. Sorry, I always get those two confused. The Haunting of Hill House is The Haunting of Hill House is probably the best TV show I have ever fucking seen. Never seen what?
Oh, you've never seen Rose Red?
I've seen
Candice.
Rose Red. You've got to be fucking
Rose
kidding
Red.
me.
Rose Red, piece of shit.
What about Kingdom's Hospital?
Oh, what about the Langoliers? No. All right. So, Charles, is there anything you want our listeners to pay attention to on the internet?
I'm going to be on an episode of The Grind Bin soon. I don't know when it comes out. We only recorded it like 2 weeks ago. And like I said, I'm shocked. I casually drank an entire bottle of Night Train while doing the episode on video or on recording. Nobody said a damn thing. So, yeah, it just is what it is. But it's a Chef Robbie pick. So Tim will probably love that movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a Joe Don Baker film. So Candice will probably hate that movie.
Love it.
No, it goes with Candice, Tom Hilton, then Joe Don Baker. Then Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Joe Don Baker doesn't.
Joe Don Baker's right in the middle. He's in the middle of that sex scene.
Holy shit! Can you imagine this movie?
Don't even joke about
Crimson
that.
Peak
That's
with
not even
Joe Don
funny.
Baker.
How dare
Sign
you?
me up. Sign me the fuck up. All right. What about you?
Oh, me? I've recently done a grind bin, and Charlie, if you know what it is, don't ruin it for anybody. But all I will say is the grind bin that I did, I got to pick it for my birthday because, once a fucking year, that's all the all-star level gets you.
Hey! I only got one pick in 2 years at being the all-star level, and I still get Mike going, "Hey, you want a pick?" And then I never hear back from him. It is what it is.
No comment on that, Charlie. But I will say this: I picked something that I think that since episode maybe 30,
is it Night Raiders?
Talking about doing and never done it.
That'd be awesome.
Oh shit!
No comment. Okay.
No comment. You have to watch what the fucking movie is.
Took a 4-hour movie and did a 2-day long podcast.
Wow.
Yes, we watched a 17-hour cut of Night Riders.
Okay, I have so much going on. Okay, where do I start?
What about you, Candice?
Okay, follow me on Twitter at HorrorHoochie69, and also follow me on Instagram at HorrorHoochie69 because I have been reviewing books for money. So the more followers I get, I need more followers in a desperate way. Please follow me on Instagram at HorrorHoochie69. And also, I also did an episode of Everything I Love from Movies. We did the stuff that should be coming out soon because it's in October. It was Gootober. And Tim missed it.
Damn it.
And also, I'm going to be recording an episode tomorrow with the Grind Bin. We're going to be covering my Patreon pick, which is 1981's Madman. I've been asking for this to be on the bin for who knows how many years. It doesn't matter. Well,
you see what a fucking scam those cocksuckers have going on?
Whoa.
No,
that was just me
fucking,
begging the Patreon
Baby
to choose Spider Baby, and it worked.
You know what? You know what, Tim? You're right. It is a scam. On the episode I recorded, Mike talks about how he has so much Patreon money, he has a literal room where his cats just shit in it.
Yeah.
That's
it, yes.
how much money he makes. And
I can believe it. It's all my fucking money.
Yeah, and Bobby's just like, and I can't even get a little bit of that money. Look at me. I'm still working.
We are Patreons of the Grind Bin because we love that show so much.
Yes. We do, yes.
Yeah.
It's the only... look, I'm not even a Patreon of this fucking show. I don't pay $2 to this show to get access to the special fucking... I was going to say mini bins. Mini bloods that we have.
You know, I say this all the time. I give Eddie the money that I stopped paying Netflix. I give Eddie more money than when I used to pay Netflix because of this show.
Oh, we're better than Netflix. Fuck that shit.
Way better. But I don't know. The grind bin, it was like they killed my family.
Okay, also I wanted to say, tomorrow,
I'm still broken
you,
up inside
Eddie, and me are going to be joining up with Adam Caesar to talk about Clown in the Cornfield 2 and any other horror things that happen. Yes, we are. I told you about this,
wait,
Tim.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
It's very exciting. I was so excited about it at 7 a.m. this morning. I was emailing Adam Caesar to confirm, a reminder, we're recording tomorrow. Yeah. And also,
4:30
I
his
think
time. Yes.
God, what time was it on your time, Eddie? You get a message from me being like, "Oh, we need to get this set up."
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I need to make sure that everything's in order. Yes.
Don't you have another interview coming up also?
Yeah, with A.L. Katz.
Oh my God, everything is so fucking good. This is going to be such a good October.
A few episodes. I know.
I'm trying to get Sybil Danning on the show, but one of us has to die.
Well, I might be meeting her on Sunday.
There you go.
Oh, Eddie, come on. Tell her that you know a guy named Tim Yobo who died and see if she tweets about me.
I got to do it.
Don't take a picture with her because we all know what happens.
Yeah, I'll die.
No, somebody bald will die with a big head, and she's like, "Oh, I met a guy with a big head one time, and this person died."
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just want to say, I just looked at my Twitter, and I follow JAV titles, Japanese adult video titles, and this is maybe one of the best ones. Here it is. Is this the kind of pussy you like?
No!
Pussies without honor or humanity. 21. Wet girls. Hiroshima Final Battle
How
Chapter.
Dare they? Okay,
God.
let me go ahead and end this
That's one of the
episode
best
with
ones.
battles without honor and humanity is better than The Godfather.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it, especially because I guess pussies without humanity or honor are better than The Godfather's pussy.
I guess so. So you can subscribe to our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/bloodybits to get access to our 3,200
you will never fucking regret that. There is so much shit to watch.
Nope.
Never.
You know what, you motherfuckers? A lot of you cocksuckers are fucking sleeping because we don't have enough Patreon. So for that fucking amount of money, I did the math.
Depending
on
access
to that the amount of movies,
every single person who downloads an episode of the Bloody Bits would donate $5, we could make a fucking living off of doing this podcast.
We could make $5.
Dude, I would do this fucking show 6 days a fucking week where I just need one day to whack off.
Candice would have her own cat shit room in her house.
Oh, I need a cat shit room. I recorded a cat shit room. Yes.
You know what? I need a house that I can live in, and then the cats can fuck up the other house. I don't care.
Eddie will go out and buy a house that's sinking into a clay pit.
Yeah, I will. And then I just got to go fuck my sister. But that's not going to happen. So, for Charles, Candice, and Tim, I think that this is how we end it.